looking for a receiver, has some time, steps up in the pocket, moves right, has some space of his own, and gets a nice gain there across the 50 and to the 49-yard line.
Taken down by Stephen Carpenter there, Hayden.
Senior Stephen Carpenter gets the tackle for the Cardinals. He played safety last year, moved up to outside linebacker. Otterbein's got a solid secondary this year. They got 4 interceptions through 2 games. 4 interceptions in their first game, 1 interception, so they got 5 actually on the year. Brandon Pascal, the cornerback, the freshman, has 2. Fred Hargrove also has a pair of interceptions. Back to snap is Credit, 2nd and 3, hands it off to Flynn Jr., who tries to break through the first down line. Looks like he's going to be marked short of the first down, which is at the 47-yard line. So it's going to be a
safety, Chris Bivens.
Chris Bivens on the tackle. He's a senior transfer from South Florida. And Coach Alan Moore really excited to have him on staff there in the backfield. It's going to be a 3rd and short situation here for Wilmington. Both of these offenses are really modern, don't like to go under center. Otterbein is yet to go under center once on offense. Wilmington doesn't go under center very much at all either. Here's Luke Credit in the backfield. Motion his receiver from left to right. Ball snapped. He's back to pass. Credit moving out to his right, trying to find a receiver. Throws it over to the sidelines. He had a man, but he threw it just over his head. That pass was intended for receiver P.J. Meyer, who I mentioned earlier had 2 receiving touchdowns in their opening week.
That'll bring up 4th down for the Quakers, and they will be setting up to punt.
So already over 2 minutes at play here in the first quarter, and Otterbein's going to get a stop and put Wilmington's punt team out on the field. They're punting from the 47-yard line, and back to receive is lonesome Julian Lowe. Ball snapped. He's going to keep it.
Go for it. It's a fake.
They're looking, and he does. He gets past the first down, so a fake punt there by Wilmington pays off the punter. It was Luke Credit, so the quarterback, Luke Credit, was out there to punt.
An illegal formation penalty by Wilmington's offense will bring that play back.
So Wilmington's punt team, Coach Brian Moore with a risky call there, sending his punt team out on the field and go for a fake punt, and why not? You know, you haven't won in 10 straight games against Otterbein. You're 1-0 to start the year. You got decent field position. Might as well take it. Interesting play call. Luke Credit is the quarterback and also the punter for Wilmington, so I'm sure Otterbein's defense will be watching for that. Credit back to punt. He is going to punt. It's blocked by Kyle Blues, and it's going to scamper off to the sideline, but a nice block there. Luke Credit, the punter and quarterback, had the ball back there and looked like he thought about doing something with it. Took his time on punting, but
looks like he thought he had more time than he did, Hayden.
It was Kyle Blues who blocked that punt there. Otterbein's going to take over possession at Wilmington's 45-yard line, and here we go. Last week, Otterbein on their opening play threw for a 55-yard touchdown pass in the air. Logan Stepp to Hunter Joseph. Hunter Joseph was named OAC Player of the Week. He's lined up at the bottom of your screen here. Logan Stepp to snap, keeps it himself, throws it over to Julian Lowe on a bubble screen. Julian Lowe trying to find some space on the side, does. He's going to get 5 yards on the play and get marked down actually at the 39-yard line. So 6-yard little bubble screen there for Julian Lowe. Julian Lowe has 17 receptions on the year. Had a touchdown last week. Logan Stepp and company, Otterbein quickly ready to snap the ball again. Here it is, 2nd and 4. Logan Stepp with Kristen Johnson right behind him. Play action pass, steps back over the middle. Julian Lowe with the catch. Touchdown Cardinals. And just like that, Otterbein has a 6-0 lead. Julian Lowe went untouched. It's a 39-yard touchdown pass for the Cardinals and an opening touchdown for Otterbein. And they go up early here. Good support from the fans here. They're happy to see the Cardinals moving with ease for that touchdown.
Freshman Tanner Brooks on to kick the extra point.
Tanner Brooks receiving kicking duties for the Cardinals. Lucas Ousley to hold. That ball is up and in between the posts and good.
7-0 Cardinals on top.
Otterbein leads this game 7-0 after a 2-play, 45-yard drive.
Very fast-paced offense from the Cardinals this year. Not afraid to take shots downfield.
Both those plays were pass plays to Julian Lowe. One on a bubble screen that went for 6 yards, and then the touchdown off a nice seam route. Julian Lowe is a slot receiver, and he lined up in the slot there and was wide open running up the seam. Got that catch right about the 15-yard line and moved around a couple Wilmington defenders and found his way into the end zone for a 39-yard touchdown pass. So Otterbein's kicking team back out on the field. 11:22 is what shows on the game clock here at Memorial Stadium in Westerville, Ohio. If you're listening on the radio, you're listening to 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio. Thank you so much. If you're listening to our visual broadcast, then thank you so much for tuning in to Tan and Cardinal Media. I'm Hayden Houselhorn here with my broadcasting partner, Tyler Fredette. Otterbein leads this one 7-0. Joe Sanfilippo to kick. And back to receive is Eric Flynn Jr. at about the 2-yard line. He's going to take it out, and he's going to find some space, but finally brought down by Desan Jefferson at about the 21-yard line. So the Quaker offense back on the field. They moved the ball a little bit, but was stopped short on 3rd and 1. Here they are back at the field for a second opportunity and a chance to even this score up. Otterbein leads this one 7-0. Wilmington takes possession at the 22-yard line. 3 receivers down to the left and 1 all alone on the right. Luke Credit back to snap with Eric Flynn Jr. in the backfield. Throws it to Flynn Jr., who's going to be stopped short, and they're actually going to lose a couple yards. Good defense there by Stephen Masters and Fred Hargrove. They're both going to be awarded a tackle there. And already Fred Hargrove with a couple tackles so far. He was Defensive Player of the Week in the OAC. He had 16 tackles last week for the Cardinals.
Sophomore Austin Torr checking in on the defensive line, Hayden.
Otterbein's got a good defensive line squad. We'll see them moving guys in and out all day. Luke Credit all alone in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to the left. 2nd and 12 at their own 19-yard line. Credit stepping up in the pocket. Breaks a couple tackles, but has finally stood up at the 25-yard line. And he forced himself to get 7 yards on the play. Desan Jefferson is awarded the tackle for the Cardinals. So another 3rd down situation for Wilmington and a chance for Otterbein to get back off the field again. 3rd and 5. Wilmington at the 25-yard line. Or excuse me, they're marked at the 23-yard line. They need to get to the 32 for a 1st down. Already more than 5 minutes way into this game. In the first quarter, Otterbein leads this one 7-0. Credit in the backfield, stepping back in the pocket. Has a receiver down here at the bottom, and it's going to be a catch and a 1st down. That one's to A.J. Hightower. So Wilmington getting another 1st down. That's their 2nd 1st down of the day. Brandon Pascal is awarded the tackle for the Cardinals. So Wilmington already with a couple 1st downs. They've ran the ball for 26 yards to this point and passed for just over 7. Luke Credit with 3 receivers out to his right, halfback in the backfield, and 1 receiver at the bottom.
Austin Corey checking back in at nose guard.
Credit moving out to the right. It was a quarterback run, and he's brought down by Austin Jones, but not before he got a couple.
Tackle made by number 3, Austin Jones.
Ball's going to be marked at the 37-yard line. They need to get to the 43 for another 1st down, so it's going to be 2nd and 7 here for Wilmington.
Brings up 2nd and 6.
So already we can see Wilmington using Credit to run and pass the ball, Tyler. We'll see if they start to throw more passes down the field. They haven't really done so much in these opening 2 drives. Credit with Flynn Jr. right behind him. Motioning his receiver around on a jet motion. There's a flag on the field. And it's going to be actually a timeout called by Coach Brian Moore. So Coach Moore must have seen something he didn't like, forces him to call a timeout. 8:24 is what shows on the clock here at Memorial Stadium. Otterbein leads this one 7-0. Again, you are listening to Otterbein's 100th homecoming game between the Cardinals and the Quakers. Otterbein's won the last 10 games against Wilmington. This is not the only game taking place today. Plenty of games going on around the OAC. We'll be bringing you scores as those games start to develop. But right here at Memorial Stadium, the men's soccer team taking on Grove City. They're 2-2 to start the year. They're taking on Grove City here at home tonight at 7 o'clock. And you mentioned before the cast the women's soccer team here at Otterbein breaking the top 25 and being ranked 21st in the nation. Pretty cool for Otterbein sports. So credit to snap the ball, hands off to Flynn Jr., and he's going to be pushed ahead down to about the 40-yard line. So 3rd and 3 for Wilmington. Again, they trailed this one 7-0. Otterbein with a nice 45-yard drive, two-play 45-yard drive, and a touchdown pass that went for 39 yards from Logan Stepp to Julian Lowe is what gave Otterbein the lead, and so far it stands 7-0. Luke Credit with two halfbacks in the backfield, one receiver out right and two to the left. Handoff, and Credit's going to keep it himself. Tries to slide for a first down. Looks like he's going to be marked just short. So another, we'll see if Wilmington puts their punt team out on the field. It looks like already Brian Moore with that fake punt, which set up the Cardinals for the scoring drive. Some risky play calls here. We'll see. It looks like they're going to send their punt team out on the field. It's going to be 4th and about 1. So Otterbein getting another 3 and out and getting their defense off the field. We'll see what Wilmington does here. Luke Credit is the one back there to punt for Wilmington, so he's their quarterback. He can throw, run, and pass. And he's going to kick this one. Julian Lowe back to receive for the Cardinals. He's just going to let that one fly over his head and into the end zone. So Otterbein will take possession at the 20-yard line.
So after these first two drives, Hayden, this defense is doing exactly what Coach Dapp wanted them to do. They're not even bending. They're holding these Quakers to short gains and keeping them in check. Quakers are going very run-heavy with their offense today, though.
Wilmington has a good rushing attack. Eric Flynn Jr., the halfback, had 10 attempts for 120 yards and 2 scores in their last game. Luke Credit, as I mentioned earlier, had 12 attempts for 116 yards and a touchdown. But so far, they've held them to under 50 yards, which is good. Yeah, total offense for Wilmington just under 50 yards at 48. But here's Logan Stepp. Christian Johnson in the backfield, throws a bubble screen to Johnson. Johnson has some blockers out on the right, gets across the 30-yard line, not before he's brought down, and a first down. He got out to the 34. A new set of downs for the Cardinals. They're moving the ball quite effectively here, wouldn't you say, Tyler?
Otterbein offense is in a groove right now, Hayden.
Hunter Joseph down here at the bottom of your screen all alone. I expect them to throw a couple deep balls to him. Watch out. 3 receivers out to the left for Stepp. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. He stood up quickly, and there on the defense for the Quakers was Ryan Prince. Wilmington's big guy on defense is C.J. Thompson. He was all OAC last year. He's the middle linebacker wearing number 2. He's a senior this year. Otterbein 2nd and 12. Stepp dropping back, has a man over the top. It's Hunter Joseph on a nice post route.
Hunter Joseph's first catch of the day.
Hunter Joseph for another Cardinal. First down.
And they'll get the Cardinals a first down.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. The ball's going to be marked about the 47-yard line. 5:54 is what shows left in the first quarter. Otterbein leads this one 7-0. They're on their second drive here on offense. Logan Stepp with Isaiah Richmond and Christian Johnson in the backfield, motioning Christian Johnson out to the right. Ball snap. Logan Stepp throws it out to Christian Johnson and went off one hand and went incomplete. Otterbein's got quite a few receivers. You've seen them throw a couple times here to Christian Johnson in this drive. They've thrown to Hunter Joseph, who was all OAC Offensive Player of the Week. Peyton Vanderkoy also out there has 2 receiving touchdowns on the year. And Julian Lowe, of course, who led the OAC in receptions last year with 56. He has 17 so far in 2017. Logan Stepp with Richmond and Johnson in the backfield. Hands off to Johnson. Johnson with some blockers out to the right. Pushes some guys over and gets a 1st and 10. And across the 50, ball's going to be marked at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Otterbein doing a good job on the ground so far. They've passed for 74 yards. A lot of their plays coming off little dump passes. Here's Logan Stepp motioning Josh Pliny left to right and finally settles down at that tight position. Play action, Logan Stepp with a wide open Peyton Vanderkoy hits his mark. Peyton Vanderkoy with the ball and tackled right at the sideline of Wilmington, but not before he got to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Otterbein moving the ball with ease in this one. They already got 4 first downs on this drive. C.J. Thompson, that middle linebacker who's all OAC, got the tackle. They're going to rely on him a lot to keep this rush game to a halt. Otterbein will probably transition to that rush game later. You know, it's very hard to be successful in football when all you have is a passing attack. But so far their passing attacks worked out well for them. Logan Stepp, hands off to Christian Johnson. Christian Johnson with a little hole. Squeaks through, and a nice gain on the play. He's going to be tackled at the 20-yard line. So a 7-yard rush on the play. 2nd and 3 for Otterbein. They're marked at the 20-yard line. Logan Stepp with 3 receivers out to his right. Christian Johnson alone in the backfield with him. Josh Pleininger moved over to the wing position. And Otterbein's offense looks to the sideline real quick. Gets a check. Hand off to Johnson. He goes out to the left through the weak side. Finds a room. And gets down to about the 13-yard line. It's another 1st down for the Cardinals. That's 5 first downs on this drive. They took over possession at the 20-yard line. And now they're all the way down to the 13 of Wilmington. And a chance to extend their lead. They lead 7-0. 3:45 is what shows on the clock here left in the 1st quarter. Josh Pleininger motioning from slot to wing. Christian Johnson in the backfield, Logan Stepp. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson with the hole. Was brought down by the jersey, but not before he got to the 7-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 3. Or excuse me, 2nd and 4 for Otterbein. That 1st down's marked at the 3-yard line. Logan Stepp. Hand off to Johnson again. Johnson's going to be stood up. He got a couple. Looks like they're going to mark him down at the 6-yard line. Otterbein's offense needs to get to the 4 if they want a fresh set of downs. They've gotten 5 first downs this drive. 6 first downs this drive. So Otterbein moving the ball very well, Tyler.
Isaiah Richmond's going to check it in the backfield here. Christian Johnson's going to step out.
Christian Johnson and Isaiah Richmond, the 2 running backs that split a lot of time. Both of them offer different things. Isaiah Richmond's that bigger guy that can just run over people. Christian Johnson can shift through holes, and we've seen him do so on this drive. Logan Stepp, 2 receivers down to the right, 1 to the left. Hand off to Richmond. He's going to keep it himself, actually. Throws it to Josh Pleininger in for the touchdown. That's a 4-yard touchdown pass. Otterbein's going to get another score here.
Touchdown for the Cardinals from Logan Stepp.
6-yard touchdown pass extends Otterbein's lead 13-0 with a point after. So the first 2 drives for Otterbein, they've scored 2 touchdowns. They look very good so far.
They definitely got Wilmington's defense to bite on that play after running it for 4 or 5 plays in a row. Opened up the passing game very well for Logan Stepp.
It was a good call by Otterbein's offense. Point after is up and good. So Otterbein leads 14-0. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is what shows left in the 1st quarter.
Drive 11 plays, 80 yards.
And you mentioned it, Tyler. Otterbein did a good job handing that ball off repeatedly when they were down here on this end. Multiple times to Christian Johnson. And then they put Isaiah Richmond in when they were at the 6-yard line, that bigger halfback. So then Wilmington's defense thinks, okay, now they're going to run the big guy. Play action pass with a nice little dump route to Josh Pleininger for the touchdown. That's Josh Pleininger's first touchdown on the year for the Cardinals. They lead this one 14-0. Logan Stepp already on his 9th touchdown pass in 2017, second of the game. That drive went for 80 yards.
Sanfilippo setting up the kickoff.
Flynn and Hightower back to receive the Sanfilippo kickoff.
Hightower and Flynn Jr. back to receive for Wilmington. Sanfilippo to kick. Ball's away. Hightower's going to take this one. He's going to take a knee, so Wilmington will get the ball at the 20-yard line again.
In the end zone for the touchback.
We mentioned that in Wilmington's opening week, they had an 80-yard touchdown pass from Luke Credit to P.J. Meyer. I wonder if they're going to start to throw the ball a little bit over the middle, run a little bit more mesh routes. It looks like they've only been doing quarterback draws and quarterback keeps so far. They're really using their dual threat quarterback, Luke Credit. Luke Credit with Eric Flynn Jr. in the backfield with him. One receiver down to his left, 3 receivers to the right. They take possession at the 25. Handoff to Flynn Jr. Tries to find a hole, but it stood up quickly. Good job by Andre Douglas and Kyle Blues to plug that hole up.
This Otterbein defensive line is really swallowing up the Quaker rushing game today.
2nd and 9 for Wilmington. They got out to the 24-yard line. That's a 1-yard rush there by Eric Flynn Jr. Wilmington with 2 receivers to the right, 1 wing receiver on the right as well. So 3 receivers to the right, 1 receiver at the bottom of the screen. Luke Credit and Eric Flynn Jr. in the backfield, motioning his receiver from right to left. Play action pass. It's going to be a bootleg, and Luke Credit evades the first tackler and ends up just trying to shuffle pass it. He put Austin Jones on skates there.
He was able to avoid the sack by dumping off with that shuffle pass, but this Otterbein defensive line is really breaking through.
It was a good job, you're right, by Luke Credit to avoid the sack.
3rd and 9.
But they're faced with a 3rd and 9 situation here, and practically forced to throw the ball a little bit deeper than what they've been throwing, but we'll see. Coach Brian Moore, his first year at Wilmington, is already 1-0, broke the 19-game losing streak that Wilmington was on. Coach Brian Moore spent 3 years as the offensive coordinator in Bluffton. Here's Luke Credit to keep the ball, throws it to a wide receiver screen, but stood up quickly there by the Cardinals. He only gets 4 yards on the play. 4th and 5.
Brandon Pascal on the tackle there. Another great play from the freshman corner.
So Wilmington already with another 3 and out. And they're going to be punting the ball back to Otterbein's offense. Otterbein already leads this one 14-0. They're 2 for 2 in their first 2 drives to put points on the board. A good crowd on hand here at Memorial Stadium, Westerville's very own Memorial Stadium.
Otterbein sending both Lowe and Hunter Joseph back to receive.
Luke Credit to kick the ball. It's away. Julian Lowe is going to receive it at about the 25-yard line. He's going to elect to return this one. He's got some space along the side. There. He's got some space and is finally pulled down. Not before he got to the 45-yard line, where Otterbein's offense will take the ball again. They lead this one 14-0. 48 seconds is what shows on the game clock left in the first quarter. Otterbein leads 14-0.
This Otterbein offense is really showing both shades of their game. They've been running and throwing it with a great receiving core.
Logan Stepp threw for 5 passing touchdowns last week. 3 passing touchdowns to Hunter Joseph. Hunter Joseph had a total of 7 catches for 181 yards last week. He had a big catch in the last drive for the Cardinals that moved the chains. Here's Stepp to hand off to Richmond. Richmond falling ahead for a 6-yard run on the play.
Tackled by number 14,
They're going to mark him. Looks like his knee went down a little early, so an only 4-yard rush.
Brings up 2nd and 6 on the 49.
2nd and 6 for the Cardinals. Otterbein at the 49-yard line. Final seconds ticking off here in the first quarter. Play action pass, step back. Looks for Julian Lowe on the sideline, but a good pass break up there by Quaker cornerback Jay Higgins. So Otterbein first faced with their first third down situation. They did a good job on third down last week. Logan Stepp in the backfield with Isaiah Richmond. Two receivers out to the right. Julian Lowe and Hunter Joseph both at the bottom of your screen here. Ball snapped. Play action. Stepp keeps it himself. He gets past the first down, evades some tacklers there. He dodged like 3 tacklers there.
Stepp showing off his dual threat ability today. Both these Quaker and Cardinal offense are led by great dual threat quarterbacks, Hayden.
Otterbein doing a good job managing their personnel. They had Julian Lowe and Hunter Joseph both lined up here at the bottom. And as a Wilmington defensive back, you think, okay, maybe they're going to pass it this way on 3rd and 5. But no, it's a quarterback keeper. First quarter's in the books here. Otterbein leads this one 14-0. Otterbein already with 95 pass yards on the day, 47 on the ground. Otterbein's moved the ball for 8 first downs in the first quarter, 142 yards of total offense. Logan Stepp went 6 for 8, and he's already thrown 2 touchdowns. That long one in the opening drive, the second play of the game, went for 33. Stepp ended that quarter there with a first down that went for 13 yards. That's only his first carry of the day. And he had that big 70-yard touchdown run last week against Muskingum. So he can really run the ball. He's already ran for 2 rushing touchdowns this year. And you gotta love a quarterback that can pass and run. And Logan Stepp certainly can do that. He's from West Jefferson High School. He was an all-Ohio player there for West Jefferson. He played quarterback, came to Otterbein as a receiver, played his freshman and sophomore year at receiver, but then assumed quarterback duties last year. He threw for 18 touchdown passes last year as his first year quarterback. Handoff to Isaiah Richmond. Otterbein moving from right to left now, switching directions after the end of the quarter. Otterbein's going to have the ball here at the 34-yard line after the rush by Isaiah Richmond. They need to get to the 28 if they want to get a first down. Logan Stepp in the backfield with Richmond. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Handoff to Richmond. Richmond tries to find a hole, but a good stop there by the Wilmington linebacker. It was Brian Gonzalez, the sophomore for Wilmington, that had the tackle. So another third down situation for Otterbein. Last third down, Otterbein decided to go with a quarterback keep to Logan Stepp. He ran for 13 yards to move the chains. Noah Durst in at slot receiver, motioned over as the wingback. Stepp snaps the ball, throws it out to Durst. Durst pushes ahead. Nice job by Durst to fight for the extra yardage. Moves the chains for Otterbein.
Durst being a 6'5" guy, pretty tough guy to take down. It was a smart move by the Otterbein offense to throw to him and let him both through some corners.
Noah Durst also came in as a quarterback, graduated from Olentangy High School. He came in to play quarterback here for Otterbein. He's a big guy, but now he's playing tight end. He probably fits a little bit better there. He's a big guy. 1st and 10, Otterbein at the 27-yard line. Stepp throws it over to Hunter Joseph. It's caught. Hunter Joseph with some room up the sideline. Not before he's brought down at the 9-yard line. Tackled by weak linebacker Brian Gonzalez.
First down.
Joseph looking to follow up that big 3-touchdown game last week. Still looking for his first touchdown today.
So Hunter Joseph on a curl route and fights for some extra yardage. Gets Otterbein for a 1st and goal. They're down at the 10-yard line. Noah Durst motion from slot receiver to wingback. 2 receivers down to the left for Otterbein. Logan Stepp hands off to Isaiah Richmond. Isaiah Richmond tackled at about the 4-yard line. So 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Otterbein with another chance to put more points on the board. They lead this one 14-0. We're already through 2 minutes here in this second quarter of action. Otterbein's just their 3rd possession of the day. They scored on their first 2, both of them passing touchdowns. Peyton Vanderkoy and Julian Lowe lined up at the left. Noah Durst and Hunter Joseph on the right. Isaiah Richmond in the backfield for Otterbein. Logan Stepp hands off to Isaiah Richmond. Isaiah Richmond gets down at the goal line. We're awaiting the signal. It looked like he got in, but no, he's going to be marked short. So
we'll hold him just about the 1 yard line, Hayden.
So third and about half yard line for Otterbein.
Gotta think they'll go back to the big running back Isaiah Richmond here.
Hand off to Richmond, and a good job by Wilmington. Looks like they're going to stop him short. So a good job by Wilmington's defense.
See if head coach Tim Dobb keeps the offense out here. 4th and goal on the 1 yard line. I think they go for it.
And here we go. Otterbein's offense is going to stay on the field here. Coach Dow pretty confident in his team that they're going to get a score here. Wilmington with a big chance to steal some momentum from these Cardinal fans. Here we go. 4th and goal. Logan Stepp keeps the ball himself, runs in, touchdown Cardinals. On a 4th and goal situation, Otterbein keeps their offense on the field, and Logan Stepp keeps it for a 1 yard rush. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. Otterbein's offense looking almost perfect so far to this point, Tyler.
Stepp went through that defensive line pretty much untouched. Slipped right through. They ran that little fake end around to Julian Lowe, and Stepp just walked right in.
Point after attempt for the Cardinals.
Tanner Brooks on to kick it. It's up and good.
And the freshman's kick is up and good. Otterbein leads this one by a score 21-0 here. 11:47 left in the first half. Otterbein a perfect 3 for 3 on their first 3 possessions on offense. Logan Stepp already with 3 total touchdowns for the Cardinals. Otterbein moved the ball with ease these last 3 drives up until they were faced with a 4th and goal. Coach Dowp elected to keep his offense on the field, and it paid off. They lead this one 21-0.
Big time decision there from Coach Dowp, but your 4th and goal on the 1. I wouldn't be kicking a field goal if I were him.
So for a lot of you Cardinals fans that tuned into last week's game felt very similar. Otterbein led by a similar score at this point last week. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio. Or if you're tuning in to Tanning Cardinal Media, we thank you so much. I'm Hayden Housewarn here with Tyler Fredette. Joe Sanfilippo to kick off for the Cardinals. Kind of a shallow kick received by A.J. Hightower at about the 5 yard line. He keeps it, tries to find some space, but a nice tackle there by Ryan Tucho out of Hilliard-Davidson. Was on the coverage there for the Cardinals.
This Cardinals defense comes back out looking to shut down the Quaker offense for another drive right before halftime.
So Wilmington with a chance to put some points on the board. Wilmington's offense coming out for their 4th possession of the day. They've been forced to punt on their first 3 possessions. On their opening drive, they got across a 50-yard line where Luke Credit kept the ball and actually got the first down, but it was brought back for a penalty. And then later the punt was blocked. Eric Flynn Jr. with the run.
Multiple Cardinals hit on that stop.
And the late flag coming in by the far side official. We'll see what this one is.
Hayden, I'm very curious to see if the Quakers will shift more to the passing offense with the lack of success their running offense has been bringing them.
They've tried to run the ball, and they've had some plays where they've gotten over 5 yards. And we've seen Luke Credit even run for more than 10.
Number 52 on defense.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is going to go against junior Rick Herbst for the Cardinals. That's their first penalty of the day.
First personal foul of the game.
So Rick Herbst saw a lot of time last year for the Cardinals. Isn't on the starting lineup for the Cardinals, but rotates in. He's pulled off the field immediately. One thing Coach Daup does not tolerate, that is unsportsmanlike penalties, and he got one there, which got him a ticket on the sideline for now. Here's Wilmington at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Luke Credit in the backfield with Eric Flynn Jr. 2 to the left, 2 to the right for Credit. Credit looks like it was an option play that was absolutely blown up by Otterbein.
Austin Tord was first one in the backfield for the Cardinals.
Austin Torr got in the backfield for Otterbein.
Torr, the sophomore defensive lineman, shifting in.
Austin Torr from Gahanna Lincoln High School right here in Columbus. And Rick Herbst, that defensive lineman that got the penalty for Otterbein, is already back on the field.
You really got to think Quakers are really going to look to pass this one, Hayden. They're struggling rushing it right now. This Otterbein defensive line is flowing right through.
It's 2nd and 10. Wilmington with possession here at the 38-yard line. Handoff to Flynn Jr. He's going to be stood up very quickly. And it was Stephen Carpenter who came flying in from the outside linebacker position. Austin Jones also awarded credit for the tackle. Otterbein putting in a heavier defensive package. Stephen Masters, Kyle Blues, and Andre Douglas all coming in for the Cardinals there. 3rd and 10 situation for Wilmington. Wilmington struggling to put some points on the board, struggling to even get across Otterbein's 50-yard line here. Here they are, 3rd down situation, 3rd and long. Credit in the backfield, rushed quickly there, finds some space along the right. He's looking for a receiver, he doesn't have one. Stephen Masters quickly to tackle there for the Cardinals. And Wilmington doesn't even get a yard on this fresh set of downs. Already it's a 3 and out. Wilmington forced to put their punt team back on the field.
They tried to shift to the pass game there, Hayden, but the Otterbein defensive line is just dominating this Quaker offensive line.
Yeah, Austin Jones came on the rush for the Cardinals. Frustrated Luke Credit, and he came out and was looking for a receiver out of the pocket. Didn't have one. Stephen Masters came flying in off the edge to keep Credit from gaining any more yards. So 4th down for Wilmington. They'll punt it. Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe, Otterbein's star receivers, back to receive for the Cardinals. Brandon Pascal quickly getting in there trying to block the punt.
Almost
Julian Lowe's going to keep
for
the ball.
Cardinals.
Julian Lowe's brought down quickly there.
That was awful close to being the 2nd block punt of the day for the Cardinals, Hayden.
It was. Luke Credit seems like he's just a little bit too comfortable back there punting.
No return. 1st and 10, Cardinals.
Otterbein leads this one 21-0. 8 minutes and 53 seconds left in this opening half of Otterbein's 100th homecoming. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on the radio, you're listening to 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio. Or if you're watching this game off YouTube, you're listening and watching Tannin Cardinal Media. I'm Hayden Housorn, here with Tyler Fredette. Logan Stepp hands off the ball to Christian Johnson. Christian Johnson circles around and looks like he got tackled at about the 32-yard line. 2nd and 8 here for the Cardinals.
Cardinals has done a great job of balancing out their offense today. Pretty even with the run and pass game.
We've seen a lot of passes downfield. We've also seen a lot of runs. We've seen a lot of screens. Otterbein doing a good job. You're right, Tyler, by mixing the play calls up.
Really keeping that Quaker defense guessing.
Isaiah Richmond split out here at the bottom of your screen if you're watching. Kristen Johnson in the backfield, Logan Stepp. Stepping back, has Hunter Joseph on a nice flag route there. So a good pass there goes for
another Cardinal. First down.
A nice 16-yard pass down to the 48-yard line. Otterbein moving the ball quite easily here. Logan Stepp already with 118 passing yards on the day. That one went for 16 yards. 1st and 10 at Otterbein's own 48-yard line. 2 halfbacks in the backfield for Otterbein. Handoff to Richmond. Richmond's got a lead blocker. Christian Johnson moves out to the left. So a nice carry there by Richmond. He gets across the 50-yard line, marked at the 47. 2nd and 5 for the Cardinals. Otterbein leads this game 21-0. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. Otterbein's 4th possession of the day. They scored in their first 3, including a 39-yard touchdown pass to Julian Lowe. Here's a handoff to Richmond. Richmond with a hole.
And should be good enough for a first down, Aiden.
He gets close to the first down. It looks like he's going to be marked short, so a favorable Wilmington mark there. Forces Otterbein with a 3rd and 1 situation. We'll see what Otterbein goes to. On the last drive, Otterbein got all the way down to the goal line before they were faced with a 4th and goal. Coach Daup elected to keep his offense on the field, and it paid off. Otterbein got the touchdown off a 1-yard run by Logan Stepp. Christian Johnson, Isaiah Richmond in the backfield. Handoff to Johnson. Johnson finds a way easily through for the first down. So Otterbein moving the ball again here. They're down in Wilmington Quaker territory and a chance to put more points on the board.
Jared Milligan and Terrence Narcisse Murphy on the tackle.
Cardinals are really spreading the ball out between all their weapons today. Richmond, Johnson, Hunter Joseph, Julian Lowe, all getting good touches in.
1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Logan Stepp, play action pass, back in the pocket, throws it over the top to Joseph. Joseph was interfered with, and the flag comes out. That penalty is going to go against Jay Higgins, the junior cornerback. You wonder a lot of times what you got to do as a cornerback to prevent that touchdown. Sometimes you do have to interfere with the passer. Hunter Joseph was wide open up until Jay Higgins caught up to him and held him up. That's going to be pass interference is what we expect the call to be.
Joseph, one of the top wide receivers in the OAC. It's going to be tough to defend.
He led the OAC last year in receiving yards in 2016 with 777 yards. He had 181 last week. And that penalty is going to go against Wilmington. That will move the ball to the 23-yard line where Otterbein will have a fresh set of downs and plenty of time to get another touchdown here. 6:32 is what shows on the clock. Otterbein leads this game 21-0 over the Wilmington Quakers. Some other scores around the OAC. Heidelberg is playing Ohio Northern. Heidelberg leads that one 13-7. Mount Union playing Marietta. They lead 38-3. In this one, Otterbein leads 21-0. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Otterbein is down in Wilmington territory. Hand off to Christian Johnson. Christian Johnson has some room to the left. Gets a couple yards. It's going to be marked down at the 21-yard line. John Carroll leads Baldwin Wallace 14-0. That game still in the second quarter. Capital and Muskingum playing a 7 o'clock game down at Capital tonight. Muskingum trying to forget the loss they took last week here at Memorial Stadium. Christian Johnson with a lot of space to the left. Has the corner and gets tackled at the 1-yard line. It was a good job by Devin Jones, the freshman safety, to stop the touchdown.
This Otterbein rushing attack is really starting to break through. They're keeping that Quaker defense guessing with all sorts of plays, Hayden.
Otterbein with the 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Logan Stepp. Play action pass to Julian Lowe. It's a bubble screen. Touchdown Cardinals. And that one looked almost too easy. Julian Lowe with his 2nd receiving touchdown on the day. Logan Stepp's thrown for 3 touchdowns on the day. That's his 10th passing touchdown on the year already. This week looking very similar to last week. Tanner Brooks, the freshman, for the point after. Lucas Ousley holding for the Cardinals. Ball snapped. Holds down, kick is away, kick is good. Otterbein leads this one 28-0. 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first half. And Otterbein is off to a hot start.
This defense is doing, like I said, exactly what Coach Daup wants them to do. They're not even bending. They're shutting down this Quaker offense and keeping them in check.
If you're watching this broadcast on Tannen Cardinal Media, just try to take in the atmosphere if you're not here live. Homecoming atmosphere, homecoming day is always a fun one. A lot of festivities taking place, including the homecoming parade. Earlier on 97.5, Pancakes on the Plaza. That's what you were listening to earlier today. So Otterbein's kicking team out for the Cardinals.
Flynn and Hightower to receive the San Filippo kick.
Hightower and Flynn Jr. to receive for Wilmington. That ball's deep. It's going to be caught by A.J. Hightower, and he's just going to take a knee. So Wilmington will take possession at the 25-yard line. Otterbein's defense, as you mentioned that quote by Tim Daup, he said, I don't want our defense to bend. The old saying is, bend but don't break. And they haven't even really bent very much here.
Fred Hillgrove looking to repeat another big day today. Already got a few tackles on the day. Great play by the Otterbein secondary, and along with their defensive line has been shutting down that Quaker running offense.
Plenty of alumni out in the stands today and out around the field. They've got to be very pleased with Otterbein's offense up to this point and their defense. They're posting a shutout so far. Knock on wood, it stays the same. Handoff to Flynn Jr. He's going to be stood up very quickly. Steven Masters, Jake Harper, Andre Douglas all in on the tackle for the Cardinals on that play. Otterbein, Coach Alan Moore, the defensive coordinator here for the Cardinals, already putting in plenty of different guys at defense. Otterbein's a really deep team this year. Melvin Medina here at the bottom of your screen playing cornerback for Otterbein. He's not your normal starter, but he's good enough to be the starter. Here's a pass over to the right. Brandon Pascal is up, and it's going to be picked off by Brandon Pascal if it stands.
That's his third interception on the year for the freshman corner.
First turnover by this Otterbein defense.
What a great play there by Brandon Pascal, tiptoeing on the sideline to keep it counting.
It was a fade route thrown there. Wilmington trying to make a big play. Brandon Pascal with perfect coverage there. Gets up and picks that ball off at its highest point.
I do believe that's Pascal's third interception on the year, the freshman corner.
It is his third interception on the year. And that's a guy you want to keep around, too.
This talented as a freshman, I can't wait to see what he does in future years.
Otterbein's going to take possession at the 49-yard line where Brandon Pascal went out of bounds after that interception. They lead this one 28-0. 5 minutes left here in the opening half. Logan Stepp, play action, throws it over the middle to Hunter Joseph. He has him, connected, moving, finding some space is Joseph. He's brought down finally at the 15-yard line. Man, this Otterbein offense just moving the ball too easily here, Tyler.
They got a great receiving core. They're not afraid to take shots downfield. They know they can dominate any secondary.
Logan Stepp quickly getting his offense to the line here. 3 receivers out to the right. Otterbein has the ball at the 15-yard line. Logan Stepp in the shotgun. Hands off to Richmond. Richmond tries to find a hole. He does. He gets down and out to the 8-yard line. So a nice 7-yard carry there by Isaiah Richmond.
You certainly have to think their strong running game opened up that deep ball there for Joseph.
We've seen already Otterbein throw those deep balls to Julian Lowe and Hunter Joseph. And almost seems like they're just wide open. We mentioned last week, if you were tuning in, Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe breaking that top 100 small school NFL prospects. Isaiah Richmond carries the ball on 2nd and 4. He gets down for about a 1-yard carry. But you know, Julian Lowe, Hunter Joseph, both those guys making the small school prospects list. Every once in a while, those guys make it in the NFL. A few of them squeak into the draft. And a big concern for NFL scouts is their size. Lowe and Joseph, not the biggest guys out there. Julian Lowe coming in at 5'11", 190. Hunter Joseph coming in at 6 foot 193. There are smaller guys in the NFL playing. Odell Beckham's just 5'3", and look at the stardom he's received as a New York Giants receiver. Logan Stepp throws it over to the right. He has Tyler Sorg. That pass went just over the head of Tyler Sorg and incomplete. So 4th down. Otterbein's going to put that field goal unit out on the field. They lead this one 28-0. 3 minutes and 29 seconds left here in the opening half.
Tanner Brooks on for his first field goal attempt of the day.
Tanner Brooks 4 for 4 at the extra point so far, taking his first field goal, his first collegiate field goal. Usually that's Joe Sanfilippo taking the field goal duties. Kick is up. Looks like it was blocked there. So that one went no good. Otterbein's going to keep their lead 28-0.
Otterbein's first drive without points so far today.
Hey, Cardinals fans, did you know that Otterbein's Where We Stand Matters campaign is supporting efforts to build a model community on campus?
Thank you for tuning in if you're listening on the radio to 97.5. And make sure you catch myself and my co-host Tommy Bartfi on our sports show where we talk about Cardinal sports and professional sports. It is From the Stands. It goes from 5:30 to 7:30 on Monday evening. Make sure you tune in. We'll be talking about this game for sure and the game coming ahead. Otterbein goes to Ohio Northern next week. That game's a 1:30 kickoff. Otterbein's first OAC game on the road. Here's Wilmington with possession at the 20-yard line. Hand off to Flynn Jr. Flynn Jr. with some space, breaks a tackler, has a block. Flynn Jr. out all alone. Finally pushed out hard by Chris Bivens. Another penalty. 2 penalties on the play.
Eric Flynn on the carry. Flags on the play.
It looks like this one might be called back, so a tough break for Wilmington if it is called back. That is their first big play in a while, Tyler.
First time that rushing offense has really been able to break through this Cardinal defense.
Luke Credit, the quarterback who handed it off to Flynn Jr., came flying up the field to block for his running back. Now it looks like that might be the penalty. He hit his man hard. The penalty is thrown in the backfield, so it could be holding.
2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 85, offense. We have a dead ball foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense. Both fouls will be enforced.
So Tim Murphy, the senior slot receiver, got booked up for the holding there. And then Chris Bivens with the late hit down here on the sidelines.
That hit did send Eric Flynn Jr. flying out on the Cardinals sideline.
Chris
took out Logan Stepp.
Chris Bivens, as we mentioned, is a D1 prospect. He came to South Florida to play college football. Ended up transferring to Akron, where he met Julian Lowe. And Julian Lowe got him to come here. Chris Bivens, originally from the Florida area.
As a result of the dead ball foul, it is an automatic first down.
Gainesville High School, West Palm Beach, is where Bivens resides from. He's going to get the personal foul for out of bounds. And it looks kind of iffy. I mean, Eric Flynn Jr., not easy running back, that's not afraid to get hit. And he was running up the sidelines. Coach Daup gave the official an earful down here on the near sideline.
After both those fouls, it'll set the Wilmington Quakers up with a 1st and 10 at their own 30.
Nonetheless, Wilmington does get a 1st and 10 at their own 30. Credit rolling out to the left. Good defensive pursuit there by Otterbein. Doesn't let Credit get upfield or even pass it. Good coverage also in the defensive backfield by Otterbein. No gain on the play by Luke Credit. He got back to the line of scrimmage, however. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Just under 3 minutes left in this second quarter. Otterbein leads here at Memorial Stadium 28-0. This is Otterbein's homecoming day. The 100th edition, celebrating 100 years of homecoming.
2.5 minutes left in the half here.
Handoff to Flynn Jr. He stood up very quickly by defensive lineman Kyle Blues.
The Otterbein defense seems to be bouncing back after that one big play.
Otterbein's going to take a timeout here with 2:23 left on the clock. Perhaps a chance to get the ball back with ample time to go down and put more points on the board. They lead this one 28-0. Last year on homecoming, we remember Otterbein hosted their rival Capital and lost that one on a very close one, 42-41. And it was Otterbein's first time losing to Capital in 5 years. And a lot of these players still remember that game. Coach Daup really wants to put on a good showing for his Otterbein alum here. Of course, Coach Tim Daup is an Otterbein alum himself. He graduated from Otterbein in 1992. He has an overall record here coaching at Otterbein of 29-23, including a 5-0 record against Wilmington. Otterbein is on a 10-game win streak here against Wilmington. So far, if this score stands throughout the second half, that streak will extend to 11 games. And so far, Otterbein's looking pretty solid on offense and on defense. Here's Wilmington with a 3rd and 11 from their own 29. Credit stepping back off a screen route. Has a man, that's P.J. Meyer, but he is tackled very quickly there by defensive lineman and senior Kyle Bloost.
Big hit from Bloost there. Could hear that one all the way up here, Hayden.
So Otterbein will get the ball back. They'll burn a second time out of the half.
Look at the ball back with just over 2 minutes left to go in the half.
A lot of football still left to play. Otterbein leads this one 28-0. We got 2 minutes and 16 seconds left here in this half, and then a whole second half. So plenty of time for Wilmington to try to get back in this game. But they're going to need some serious second half adjustments and a serious answer to Logan Stepp and company on the offensive side of the ball. They've had almost zero answer on the day, stopping them. Otterbein's done a good job on the ground and through the air today. Logan Stepp has thrown for 169 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian Johnson's the leading rusher for the Cardinals off 10 attempts, 59 yards with a 5.9 average. Hunter Joseph, the leading receiver for the Cardinals. He's got 4 receptions for 82 yards. Julian Lowe, the leading touchdown scorer for the Cardinals. With huge opportunity here to put some points on the board going into the first half. They have the ball at the 48-yard line. That was Julian Lowe who took the ball at the 29, got all the way out to the 45 before that ball slipped through his hands and was recovered quickly by Wilmington. So here we go. Wilmington with the ball at the 48-yard line. 3 receivers out to the right for Luke Credit, 1 halfback in the backfield, and 1 receiver split out all alone at the top of your screen. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in this half. Luke Credit keeps it himself, has stood up very fast there by Austin Jones. Good job by Austin Jones to plug up that hole there.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Loss of about a half a yard for Wilmington. Good job by Otterbein. His defense to get right back out on the field and not allow a big play. Wilmington is going to be forced with a little bit of clock management here. 1:30 is what shows on the clock. They have 2 timeouts remaining. But they need a score here. That would be huge going into halftime. They trail 28-0 to the Cardinals. Credit to hand off to Eric Flynn. Eric Flynn is stood up fast. This time it's Jake Harper who flew in there and made the tackle.
Quakers just can't seem to get their running offense going, but they're also struggling against this Cardinal secondary in the passing game.
3rd down and 10. Wilmington has already lost a minute worth of time here.
Really got to think they want to avoid the Brandon Pascal's side. He's already got 3 interceptions on the year, 1 today. And see if they turn to their passing offense on this 3rd down.
We talk about Wilmington trying to throw the ball over top more, Tyler, but you're exactly right. This Otterbein secondary has just been stellar throughout this season, already with 6 interceptions. Luke Credit to hand off. He keeps it himself, and he stood up. It's an actual loss of 3 yards. Steven Masters and Kyle Bloost all in there for the tackle. That's going to be it for the first half. The final 2 minutes just was all lost there. Wilmington, after getting a fumble recovery off the Otterbein punt returner, already is forced to put their special teams back on the field. But it looks like they're going to have plenty of time to just let this clock wind down. But so far, Otterbein leads this one 28-0. 1 half already in the books here. Oh, the whistle blew before the half.
Timeout.
Wilmington's going to take a timeout here.
0.6 seconds left in the half, Hayden. It seems a little weird for me.
So you wonder, right as I call the first half being in the books, Wilmington coach Brian Moore takes a timeout. And you wonder if they're going to take a shot down at the end zone.
Field. I mean, Otterbein's starting with the ball in the second half, so maybe they will just take their... What's the worst that can happen? I mean,
right now they trail 28-0.
And it looks like they will be taking a shot on this drive here.
And this game, if you're Wilmington, is kind of a, why not? They haven't beat Otterbein in the last 10 games.
Otterbein sending 5 deep in the secondary there.
Coach Brian Moore got Wilmington their first win in 2 years. 2 weeks ago in Wilmington's opening game. Credit throws it over the middle, quickly covered there by Austin Jones. The pass was completed, but Austin Jones quickly made the tackle. 1 half in the books here at Otterbein's homecoming game in Westerville, Ohio. They lead this game 28-0. We'll bring you some second half stats after the break. I'm Hayden Houshorn here with my broadcasting partner, Tyler Fredette. Tyler, any thoughts before we go to the break?
This Cardinal defense is really stepping up today. Let's see if they can make Coach Stout proud and play a full 60 minutes.
Logan Stepp throwing 11 completions off 14 attempts for 169 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. Julian Lowe with 2 receiving touchdowns for the Cardinals. Hunter Joseph with 82-yard receiving and 4 receptions. Christian Johnson has ran for 10 and 59 yards. Isaiah Richmonds ran 10 times for 33 yards. Luke Credit, the quarterback for Wilmington's thrown the ball 9 times, completed 6 passes for a measly 19 yards, and he's ran the ball himself for 30 yards off 10 attempts. Otterbein with 15 first downs, 106 yards on the ground, 169 yards in the air, 275 yards of total offense. 3 penalties for the Cardinals, went for 35 yards. 2 penalties for Wilmington, went for 20. Both teams with the turnover. Otterbein leads this one 28-0. We're going to go to a break. Thank you so much for listening to 97.5 WOBN and tuning in to Tannin Cardinal Media. I'm Hayden Houshorn here with Tyler Fredette. We'll catch you after the break.
2018, after 9 years as president of Otterbein University. Her leadership has secured the most funds in Otterbein's history with the Where We Stand Matters campaign.
Because we'll programming, recruiting, and scholarship. Thank you, Donnelly family, for supporting access and affordability at Otterbein. Next, welcome Dr. Morton Actor and Dr. Barbara Chapman Actor. Morton received an Otterbein honorary doctorate in 2000 and is a former professor and chair of the Department of Music. Barbara is a former professor and chairperson of Otterbein's Department of Nursing. The actors generously provided funds to replace the seating in Riley Auditorium, which guests will enjoy at the evening's music celebration and for many years to come. Thank you, Morton Barbara, for making campus renewal a priority. Last but definitely not least are representatives of our extraordinary Otterbein faculty and staff. This past year, a record-breaking 54% of our faculty and staff made gifts to the Otterbein Fund and other areas, well above average for other higher education institutions. The faculty and staff gathered on the field today represent more than 100 years of giving. They are faculty and staff campaign co-chairs Annette Harding Booth, class of 94, administrative assistant in the Department of Health and Sports Sciences, and biology and earth science professor Michael Hogarth, who is leading a field project and could not be with us today.
You're doing a really good job so far.
Sean Moneypenny, HVAC technician with the service department.
Yep, you do. As your secretary.
Mathematical science professor Dr. Susan Thompson.
James Brysock, class of 2009, Director of the Office of Social Justice and Activism. Bob Gaddy, Otterbein Honorary Alumnus 2003, Vice President for Student Affairs. Let's give a round of applause for our amazing faculty and staff, as well as all the alumni and friends who stand with Otterbein every day. And remember, the 100 Hours of Giving is happening now. A President's Challenge was put forth by President Crandall, Emeritus Presidents DeVore and Kerr. Make a gift today or before Sunday at 9 p.m., and your support will be matched dollar for dollar up to $10,000. Visit otterbein.edu/100 to learn more and make a gift today. Go Cards! This afternoon, your Cardinal Marching Band will perform some classic rock. Drum majors Gage Warwick and Laura Welsh will lead the band in a mashup of Earth, Wind, and Fire's Got to Get You Into My Life and Chicago's Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Featuring trumpet players Ivy Bark.
If I was still playing, like, I would not be starting. Not a chance.
You got Steph and the coach.
Okay, sweet.
I know it's like coming into play low was second in the country and points responsible for.
Okay.
Instead of the passing efficiency. Probably only gonna go up after this.
Alright. Yeah, I'll listen.
So they can clear from the interview or we go down there?
Where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to be?
We're gonna go down to the field, right by where the camera is. So right around that bend where you see them, there should be like 6 of them.
Now the band would like to present our featured twirlers. Rihanna Bates and Katie Gibson, a performance of Earth, Wind, and Fire's In the Stone. today's halftime show, the band staff is Jody Villanova, Dr. Dan King, Eric Frisch, Leah Johnson, Jody Nieder with senior staff Tim Armstrong and Tabitha Rucker. Ladies and gentlemen, your Otterbein Cardinal marching band. It's important to recognize that homecoming isn't just about alumni. We're also celebrating the spirit and energy of our current students and how they contribute to our Otterbein community. Through a selective application, interview, and election process, 10 students were selected as this year's homecoming court. We are very excited to recognize our 2017 homecoming court members. Katie Miller is an allied health major from Marietta, Ohio. As an Otterbein student, Katie's been actively involved in Cardinal Corps Leaders, Health Professions Club, and Sigma Alpha Tau sorority. Noah Reckelson is an English Literature Studies major from Canandaigua, New York. On campus, Noah is a member of Pi Beta Sigma fraternity, the Otterbein Film Club, and served as a student orientation leader. Rose Hawkinson is a biochemistry, molecular biology, and psychology double major from Columbus, Ohio. Rose is a member of the Theta Nu sorority, is involved in Advanced Ant Leadership Program, and is part of the Host and Tour program. Lane Johnson is a biology major from Circleville, Ohio. Lane has been involved with the SOAR team and Sigma Delta Phi fraternity. Brian Hamill is a public relations and communication studies double major from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. As an Otterbein student, Brian is involved with the Public Relations Student Society of America, the SOAR team, and Phi Delta Theta fraternity. Ella Blackman is a global studies major from Lakewood, Ohio. On campus, Ella is involved with Gamma Phi Omega sorority, the SOAR team, and intramural sports. Logan Armstrong is a middle childhood education major from Mansfield, Ohio. Logan is a member of Otterbein Christian Fellowship, the Advanced Ant Leadership Program, and Pro Time through the Center for Community Engagement. Josh Plimpton is a public relations and health communications double major from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Josh has been involved with Cardinal Corps Leaders, Peer Mentor Program, and Phi Delta Theta fraternity. Corinne Naylor is a creative writing major from Columbus, Ohio. Corinne is a member of the Otterbein University Student Government, involved with the Residence Life Program, and a member of Theta Nu sorority. Shyla Cummings is an allied health major from Cincinnati, Ohio. As an Otterbein student, Shyla has been involved with Athletes in Action, Track and Field, and the SOAR team. And now please welcome our 2016 royalty, Ashley Mead and Will King. It is now time to announce your 2017 homecoming royalty. Help us in congratulating Corinne Naylor and Noah Rankelson. Look at those moves by your king. Ladies and gentlemen, your king and queen homecoming royalty, Corinne Naylor and Noah Rankelson.
Hello, can you hear me? Just say, Booger, are you ready?
Fans in the third quarter of today's
Just say, are you ready,
game, we'll
Booger?
have spirit awards, banners, floats, and more. That'll be in the third quarter, so stick around. Make sure you check out the concession stands on the first and second floor of the stadium, as well as Kona Ice by the right center.
Tell Boog to tell me when I'm live.
On the first and second floor, and in the right center as well.
I'm live at Memorial Stadium here where the homecoming royalty was just crowned. Noah Richardson and Corinne Naylor. We will get to talk to them in a second about how they are the first gender-neutral homecoming court. They're taking a picture right now, and right after we will get to interview them about their thoughts on being the first gender-neutral homecoming court and any advice they have for us. So just right here comes the homecoming court, and I'll have Corinne and Noah. Here's our first homecoming royalty, Noah Richardson and Corinne Naylor. What is your guys' thoughts on being the first gender-neutral homecoming?
I'm all for it. I'll never stop saying it. If anyone can be themselves and feel comfortable being themselves, I think we should support that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. People are people, you know what I mean? Like, I think if that's what makes people feel comfortable, then it's good, you know?
Perfect. And do you have any advice for next year's homecoming court or people who are interested in applying and want to be on it?
Have fun.
Yeah. Just have fun, be yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's all we've been doing.
Yeah, how was your day today?
It was awesome.
We're making it loud.
It was good. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm really sweaty right now, so that's fun, but like ready to change.
Disgusting. I need to
But it's
throw
been
it
fun
away.
though. Yeah, it's been a great time.
Well, thank you so much and congratulations, guys. I'll let you get back to the activities. Thank you. We just heard from our homecoming royalty, the first gender-neutral homecoming royalty here at Otterbein. We can take it back up now, but this is Bailey Ross live at Memorial Field, TNC Media.
I already called Crazy in Love, so that's cool. Crazy in Love and then Red Band, so that way we can go through. That way we can go from Queen Bee to so stand up.
That's on step. Wilmington rushing 18 carries, 43 yards. Otterbein 22 carries, 106 yards. Packers.
We'll give you a countdown. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, where the Cardinals lead this one 28-0. And we were just brought some news up here in the press box. Logan Stepp is actually second in the country in Division III for points responsible for at quarterback, and seventh overall in pass efficiency going into this game. So Tyler, I expect him to climb even more after this game. He's had such a good one. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns, and 2 of them have gone to Julian Lowe, and I expect a little maybe more here in the second half.
I mean, he's 11 of 14 on the day, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns along with a rushing touchdown. He's been all over the field. I think for the short time he may stay in this half, I think a couple more touchdowns from him shouldn't be too much of an expectation.
I think I also would expect Otterbein to go to the rushing game a little bit more here. It's worked out well for them. Christian Johnson ran for 59 yards in the first half off 10 carries. Isaiah Richmond ran for 33. So I expect Otterbein to maybe start to work in that run game a little bit more. But they lead this one 28-0 over Wilmington. They've done a good job on the defensive side of the ball, not giving up a single point. And that was mostly due to the help of some of that defensive linemen and linebackers. We saw Austin Jones in on a lot of tackles. Kyle Blues with a couple big tackles on that last Wilmington possession. Brandon Pascal in the defensive backfield had that big interception off that fade route that Wilmington tried to throw late in the first half. So we'll see. Otterbein's defense is going to need to continue to play at the level they've been playing at if they want to win this game. If you're listening to this one on Tan and Cardinal Media or 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, we're just glad you're here. Again, Otterbein leads this one 28-0. Both teams are starting to make their way to the field. Otterbein's already on the field. Wilmington still standing outside the locker room. But we're getting ready for this second half of action. Otterbein, like we said, leads this one 28-0. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second. Logan Stepp responsible for all 4. He had 3 passing touchdowns, and he ran for a 1-yard touchdown on 4th and goal on his own. And what do you expect, Tyler, to see out of the Cardinals?
I do expect them to lean on the rushing game a little heavier, but I think they'll lean on the rushing game for long enough that it'll open up the deep passing game to Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe and look for a couple deep balls from Stepp to rack up some more numbers.
What does Wilmington need to do to get around this Otterbein defense?
I think they really need to open up their passing game more. Their rushing game has been struggling with Otterbein's defensive line, but the Otterbein secondary is just hard to get past. So.
It's been tough. Otterbein has a solid secondary, returning Prince Franklin this year and adding 3 new guys to the secondary. Fred Hargrove moved from outside linebacker to safety for this season. Chris Bivens, a transfer from South Florida. And then Brandon Pascal, the freshman, who has 3 interceptions already in the 2017 campaign. And it's all led to Otterbein leading this one, and the score shows exactly what you would think. Last week at this point, you would have thought it was a similar score. I believe it was I can't recall off the top of my head, but it was a similar score. It was like 28-3. And Muskingum had been winning in total yards, but they just couldn't find the end zone. This game's been totally separate. Wilmington hasn't gotten really down in the red zone, at least. They haven't even gotten in the red zone once today, and they haven't even put a field goal unit out because they haven't been in field goal range. So
they've struggled getting even across the 50-yard line so far. So interesting to see what they go with.
So Coach Daup, we've mentioned this quote all throughout the broadcast today. He wants a defense that not only doesn't bend and break, but doesn't even bend. He wants a defense that doesn't even bend, and they haven't really shown any sort of. Wilmington hasn't really been a threat to Otterbein very much today. Even on their big plays, they've had, a holding call in the backfield, so it was brought back. So some unfortunate breaks for Wilmington, but in the end, they just really haven't been able to get past Otterbein's defense.
On a very tough day for the Wilmington offense. I think they should try to open up with the passing game a little more this half, but Otterbein's starting with the ball in the second half after deferring on the coin toss. So we'll see what they go with.
If Wilmington's going to get back in this game, they are going to need to stop Otterbein's offense on more occasions. Otterbein's offense had 5 possessions in the first half, scored on 4 of them. A blocked field goal is what led. Otterbein was about to go up 31-0, but a blocked field goal kept them at 28. So if Wilmington wants any hope at getting back into this game, they are going to need some stops on defense, and a huge stop here would happen if they could keep Otterbein out of the end zone or off the scoreboard. Otterbein's going to get the ball back. Otterbein won the coin toss at the beginning of the game, and they elected to defer, so they'll take the ball now. Beautiful homecoming atmosphere. Temperatures sitting about 78 degrees. Partly cloudy. Would be perfect in a t-shirt or a hoodie. It's just that time of year. Again, next week's broadcast will be from Ohio Northern. Otterbein takes on the Polar Bears at 1:30. And we're set to kick off in this one. Back to receive, Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe for the Cardinals. And ball is a squib kick. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds. But it was close. It was close. It looked like some Wilmington guys were close to getting it. Otterbein's wedgemen looked like they were just trying to watch it go out of bounds, but it was jumped on quickly there by Zach Smith.
Dean Supelak recovered the kick from Wilmington.
On the year was a big part of Otterbein's offense last year. He had 3 touchdowns, but a lot of times when Otterbein was forced with a 3rd and long situation and Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe were covered up, they'd hit Peyton Vandercoin on a nice dig route. Here's Otterbein on 2nd and 9. Step throws it over to Christian Johnson. Christian Johnson gets around the first tackler, squeaks through a little hole and fights for some more yards and gets tackled at the 42.
Broussard and Brian Gonzalez.
Well, Wilmington linebacker taking his time to get back up. That's Steve Broussard, the sophomore, who was a little slow to get up for Wilmington. 3rd and 5 for the Cardinals at their own 42. Logan Step in the shotgun, Richmond to the back. Play action pass, Step drops back, throws it over the top to Josh Pleininger, and the pass was just a little overthrown.
But it was too much heat on that one for Pleininger.
It was there. The pass was there nonetheless.
He was open.
It was a good look by the Cardinals. And that's going to force a 3-and-out. Otterbein's punt team out on the field for the first time today. Joseph Sanfilippo out of Delaware Hayes High School. 3rd year punting for the Cardinals.
AJ Hightower back to receive.
An official is going to blow the whistle here. Looks like the ball was just simply misplaced after that last play. It was only moved back a half yard. The ball's marked at the 42.
Very interesting punt formation here for the Cardinals.
And some more whistles coming in. Ralph Carey, Greg Strasbow, Bruce Darnold, Brian Freeney, Josh Mariotti, Rob Cowles, and Mike Peroski. All the officials for today, OAC officials. Looks like the play clock was just needed to be reset. Ball snapped. Kick is away. Back to receive, and fair caught is Hightower. Otterbein takes it, Wilmington takes it at the 20-yard line. So Wilmington's defense with an early answer here in the opening possession of the second half, and a chance for Wilmington to put some sort of points on the board. If they want to get back in this game, they're going to need to do so.
They really need to open up their offense more. They've been running a lot up the middle with this Cardinal defensive line. It's not giving.
That defensive line consists of Andre Douglas and Kyle Blues, 2 big playmakers for the Cardinals. Luke Credit in the backfield. Play action pass, throws it on a slant route. A flag coming in from the sideline. This one's going to go against Brandon Pascal, who looked like he had his arm wrapped around the intended receiver. The call will likely be pass interference. We're waiting from head official Ralph Carey. And it is. Brandon Pascal is going to be booked up for pass interference, which gives Wilmington a 1st and 5. Nope, 1st and 10 for Wilmington at the 25-yard line. So already Tyler Wilmington going back to the pass. It was a slant route. It was open, but just pass interference prevented the catch. Credit in the backfield with Flynn Jr. Handoff. Nope. Credit keeps it himself. Has a blocker. And has stood up very quickly. But not before he got a gain of 5. Nice run there by Credit. Seems like it's been a while since they've had a gain on the ground, hasn't it, Tyler?
It's been a few drives. Looks like they're getting a little more open with their offense now. Moving to the outside, a little bit of passing game.
13 minutes and 18 seconds is what shows on the scoreboard here at Memorial Stadium on Otterbein's campus in Westerville, Ohio. We are in the third quarter of action where Otterbein leads 28-0. 2nd and 4 for Wilmington. Bubble screen out to Flynn Jr. Is picked off.
Prince Franklin with the interception.
The pick 6 by number 7, Prince Franklin for the Cardinals. Defensive touchdown.
Touchdown Otterbein. Prince Franklin off a tipped bubble screen.
Steven Carpenter looked like he read that play like a book. He jumped right in that backfield.
It was a bubble screen intended for Eric Flynn Jr. And it was just went off the hands of him. And Prince Franklin was right there.
His first interception on the season, I believe, Hayden.
It is his first interception on the year, and his going for a touchdown. Otterbein's first defensive touchdown on the year as well.
7th interception on the year, though, for this Cardinals secondary.
They're looking very solid today. Tyler, here's the kick after. Kick is up. This is Luke Greenlopper kicking for the Cardinals. That one's up and between the pipes.
Cardinals 35, Wilmington nothing.
And that sweet fight song, we've heard it all day here at Memorial Stadium, Tyler. Otterbein's had a very good outing. Very similar to last year. Otterbein went down to Wilmington at their place. It was a night game. Otterbein won 52-7. Right now they lead this one in a similar fashion, 35-0.
They needed that defensive score there, Hayden, after 2 blank offensive drives. It was big time for them. That keeps the momentum in the Cards' favor, and we'll see how the rest of this quarter plays out.
As we said, it's a beautiful college game day here in Westerville. Beautiful OAC atmosphere, the kind of one that you dream before if you're a player before you go to bed at night. Just perfect weather. Kick is up from San Filippo. Flynn Jr. back to receive, gets that at about the 4. Tries to take it out. He's across the 20, runs over a tackler, but is brought down shortly after he got to the 25-yard line. Otterbein's defense back out on the field. They got a pick 6 on the last one, and it was by cornerback Prince Franklin, the sophomore. Prince Franklin, actually, excuse me, not a sophomore, he's a junior. Junior transfer. He's in his 2nd season here at Otterbein. Spent his freshman year at Ohio Dominican, Division II school here in Columbus. So Wilmington's offense with another try here. Handoff to Flynn Jr. Goes for a couple, but a nice tackle there.
Again, swallowed up by that Cardinal defensive line.
Carried by number 4, Gino Hinton. Tackled by Ryan Tuccio and Kyle Blust.
Tuccio and Blust on a tackle there.
Sophomore Ryan Tuccio from Hilliard-Davidson getting some time here in this second half. Otterbein leads 35-0 after the pick 6 interception by Prince Franklin. Wilmington with a 2nd and 7. Credit stepping back, has a man over the top. He's got a catch. Breaks the first tackler, chased by Fred Hargrove. Fred brings him down at the 10-yard line.
Hargrove with a touchdown saving tackle there, but there it is for Wilmington. They opened up with that deep passing game and were able to slip one by the Cardinal secondary.
Wilmington's biggest play of the day was a pass to P.J. Meyer, the senior who had an 80-yard touchdown reception in their first game of the season. That pass is going to go for 61 yards. Wilmington down at the 10-yard line. Credit's going to keep it, going to get around Stephen Carpenter, but a nice second effort by Carpenter to bring Credit down. And a lot of red jerseys over there to help him with the tackler.
Tackle made by Stephen Carpenter and Kyle Blust. No gain, 2nd and 10.
So Wilmington, for the first time in Otterbein's red zone and a chance to put some points on the board, they could really use them if they want to get back in this game. Time is becoming a factor. 11:19 left in the third quarter, and when you trail 35-0, every minute counts. Luke Credit taking the snap with Flynn Jr. Credit keeps it himself. Stood up very quickly by Kyle Blust, who tackled Credit at the ankles and finally was brought down. Loss of 1 on the play. They just haven't been able to get anything on the ground.
The running game's been struggling.
It seems like in the first opening possession, they did a good job, doing that quarterback option. Credit would keep the ball sometimes. Sometimes he'd hand it off to Flynn Jr.
Kyle Blust and Andre Douglas have been spending a lot of time in the Quaker backfield today.
You wonder if that's a testament to Wilmington's offensive line. Certainly they're going to need some work in their next game. Credit snaps on 3rd and 12. Credit has some space along the left, decides to keep the ball. Thought about passing, but is brought down now at the 8-yard line. Wilmington hosts Capital next week. That's a game under the lights down in Wilmington.
This brings up 4th and 8, and Wilmington looks to be keeping their offense on the field.
Otterbein, of course, goes to Ohio Northern next week up in Ada, Ohio. That game starts at 1:30. And you can catch all the action on 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio.
And Wilmington will be keeping their offense on the field here.
You're right, Tyler. Wilmington's offense remains on the field, and you kind of don't really doubt that because they need a score here.
They need something.
Credit stepping back. Pass rush. Dumps it off to his receiver, who jumps, dives in the end zone. He got close. Is marked down right at the end zone, but he dove up.
Big stop there for the Cardinals.
It is going to be a first down, however, for the Quakers. So 1st and goal. That was Deshaun Maddox, the sophomore receiver. Luke Credit rolled out to his left and found Maddox on a little shallow route. He had the ball and had like 5 yards to make up for it. Tried to dive over across the plane. Hand off to Flynn Jr. Flynn Jr. dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Wilmington.
There's Flynn on the Quaker carry for the touchdown.
Quakers' first touchdown of the came off that big passing play. Like I said, Hayden, I think they needed to
Eric Flynn Jr. takes the ball into the end zone for Wilmington. For Wilmington's first score, and we said if they want to get back in this game, they're going to need a touchdown early in this quarter. 9:19 is what shows left in the third, and already Wilmington's got a score.
They've really opened up their passing offense on this first drive.
And a lot of it, you're right, a lot of it was due to that 61-yard pass that they had to start the drive from P.J. Meyer. And Fred Hargrove saving the touchdown earlier. But Wilmington later in that same drive finally gets a touchdown. And a risky move there.
Going for it on 4th down.
Going for it on 4th down, but it pays off. So we've seen both teams pay off on 4th and goal.
The following are the winners for the sorority homecoming banner competition. In 3rd place, Cal Epsilon Move. In 2nd place,
Flynn Jr. running for his 3rd touchdown on the year.
The following are the winners for the fraternity.
He hasn't had the best outing, as we mentioned. Wilmington struggled to move the ball on the ground.
In 1st place, Sigma Delta Phi.
Flynn Jr. only running for 11 yards today.
Joseph and Lowe back to receive the kick.
They've just struggled to move the ball, Tyler.
It's been tough.
But that drive, as you said, they need to open up the pass play more, and here they come. Had that deep post route to P.J. Meyer
behind the secondary, and P.J. Meyer seems to be their main deep threat.
Kevin Champ to kick off for Wilmington. They trail the Cardinals 35-7. It's another little pooch kick along the sidelines, recovered by Isaiah Richmond. Richmond tries to find some space on the sideline, but is pushed out of bounds.
And start this drive at their own 35-yard line.
So Otterbein looking to respond. They lead this one 35-7. It is the 100th homecoming here in Westerville, Ohio's very own Otterbein University. We're here at Memorial Stadium up in the box. I'm Hayden Heilshorn here with Tyler Fredette. You're listening to 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio, or you're tuning in to Tannin Cardinal Media. Either way, thank you so much for tuning into this game. Logan Stepp hands it off to Isaiah Richmond, who runs to the right and is tackled, but he got 3 yards on the play.
Tackled by Steve Broussard.
Richmond's had a decent day today.
Narcisse Murphy.
He's averaged about 3.5 yards a carry, which is just right at the productive line. But still, I mean, he's a big guy. You really want him to do a little bit more. Richmond was originally recruited at Eastern Kentucky University.
In third,
He's
African-American Student Union.
in his senior season here with Otterbein.
Capital. And in first place, Sigma Delta Phi.
Struggled with a leg injury last season.
Following are the winners for the sorority homecoming float competition. In third place, Theta Nu. Second place, Tau Epsilon. And in first place, Epsilon Capital.
They just announced the homecoming float winners from the Greek chapters here. You can catch the homecoming parade every year on homecoming day on Otterbein's campus. 2nd and 7. Logan Stepp. Play action pass. Throws it over to Julian Lowe. Julian Lowe's got a first down and a couple more. He gets out to the 48-yard line. Man, Logan Stepp, when he snaps the ball, it's not very quick before it's not very long before he gets it off.
He wastes no time getting into his receivers and letting them make the play.
Otterbein with yet again another first down. That's their 16th first down of the day. Stepp, handoff to Richmond. Richmond through a hole, is tackled.
About 6 yards on that carry for Richmond.
Tackled by Ryan Prince, the senior defensive end.
On the tackle.
8 minutes and 10 seconds left. Otterbein on top, 35-7. And with the ball at the 44-yard line, 2nd and short. Ball snaps, Stepp drops back, throws it over to Hunter Joseph. Hunter Joseph stood up and pushed out of bounds by Jay Higgins, the junior, for Wilmington.
Forced out of bounds by
Otterbein with yet again their 17th down today. They've moved the ball so efficiently.
It almost looked too easy for him, Hayden. Very smooth offensive play for the Cardinals.
Well, when you got a quarterback with the capabilities like Logan Stepp in the OAC, you're going to do some damage. Logan Stepp to drop back. Quarterback draw, keeps it himself, runs through. Penalty on the field and tackled at the 26-yard line.
Looks like this one might be coming back, Hayden.
This one looks like it is going to be a holding call, likely on that left side of the line. The flag was thrown by the line judge down here, Brian Freeney. So we're going to await the call, but if it stands, it's an 18-yard run by Logan Stepp. It's going to be face mask against the defense. But nice break for the Cardinals. They'll move down closer to the goal line where they have been all day. They've scored 5 touchdowns on the day. One of them was a defensive touchdown at the start of this half by Prince Franklin of the secondary. But offensively, Otterbein has scored 4 touchdowns, 3 of them through the air, and 1 of them on the ground. It was a 1-yard run by Logan Stepp.
13-yard line, 1st and 10, Cardinals.
A 1-yard run gave Otterbein the 21-0 lead at the time. Otterbein with the ball at the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Stepp in the shotgun, hands off to Richmond. Richmond through a hole. Gets to the 2nd level, but is brought down at the 7-yard line. Nice run there by Richmond. 2nd and 5. The first down is marked at the 4.
2nd down.
But another minute passing. Time is certainly a factor if you're a Wilmington Quaker fan. Seven minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Otterbein down on the 7-yard line, handoff to Richmond. Richmond across the 5, but not much after that. Looks like he got just to the first down marker. No first down signal coming from the ref yet. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and short.
Think they'll give it back to him.
David Henry and Kyle Ackley on the tackle.
Big back, 3rd and short. The defense might be thinking they go to him, but Otterbein's tending to go to the passing game on 3rd down.
You know, you just never know what to expect if you're Wilmington. Otterbein's done a good job mixing up personnel all day, giving it to different guys.
Really spreading the ball around on this offense.
I think we might see a play action pass here or quarterback keep. Motioning Josh Pleininger from the right side of the formation over to the left side of the wingback. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hand off to Richmond. They do, Tyler. They give it right to him, and he gets a first down. Right to the big boy. He got down.
Bully through them defensive linemen.
He got all the way to the 2-yard line before forward progress. You know, we can talk about Otterbein's skill players all day, Tyler, but one thing we have to credit for is these offensive linemen of Otterbein. They have
great
pushed,
job so far this
they
year.
have pushed Wilmington's defensive line back 2 to 3 yards every play, and it's allowed Otterbein's running backs to fly through some holes.
They've done a great job protecting Logan Stepp on those deep ball plays. He has no fear in that pocket.
Hand off to Richmond. Richmond gets down to the 1-yard line, so gain of 1 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Otterbein leads this one 35-7 and a chance to extend their lead more. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Otterbein sticking with that familiar shotgun formation. 3 receivers split out wide to the right. Hand off to Richmond. Richmond gets to the goal line.
It looks like
Not
he's
sure
in.
if he was
And
across
he's in.
it. And a touchdown coming from the far side.
For the Cardinals,
Isaiah
touchdown.
Richmond with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Now, speaking of that offensive line, Hayden, led by 2 seniors, Case Troyer and Jacob Schaefer. Troyer, the left tackle.
Peter LaChapelle, too, on
Peter
this.
LaChapelle on the right side as well.
They've pushed that defensive front of Wilmington back all the way. They get Isaiah Richmond a touchdown here and a good response to Wilmington's nice drive that they had the previous possession. Point after is being taken by Joseph Sanfilippo.
It's up, and it is good.
And it is.
Pick it up, and it is good.
42-7. 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
Shades of last week. You can say, Hayden.
Otterbein scoring drive. 10 plays, 66
Remember,
yards.
Otterbein led by the exact same margin last week, 41-6, before they gave up 3 touchdowns at the end of the 4th quarter.
Let's see how their defense responds this time.
They've given up a touchdown in this half already. It was a similar 1-yard run by Eric Flynn Jr. down at the other end. But it's going to have to be Wilmington's it's gonna be an uphill battle if Wilmington's gonna get back in this game, Tyler.
They really got to learn how to stop that Cardinal offense.
Hightower and Flynn back receive the kick from Sanfilippo.
Sanfilippo to kick off for the Cardinals. Back deep is Hightower and Flynn Jr. for the Quakers. Kick is up. Taken by Flynn at the 4-yard line. Tries to find a hole. He does. He's got space and around a tackler. Flynn Jr. out in the open field across the 50-yard line. And all the way down.
The kicker pushes him out of bounds.
And all the way down to the 37.
Return for Wilmington by number 5.
Sanfilippo, Tyler, plays on your lacrosse team here at Otterbein. Pretty good athlete.
2-sport athlete, captain of the lacrosse team. Chasing down kick returns and keeping them away from touchdowns.
He's won some OAC awards as a lacrosse player here at Otterbein.
And as a kicker, too.
And as a kicker. So quite the athlete. A lot of times when you see the kicker out in open field, you think he's easy to get past. Not if it's Sanfilippo. He'll chase you down. He's not afraid to even put a hit on you if he has to. Here's Wilmington with the ball at the 42-yard line. They're moving from left to right on the field. They're down in Otterbein territory after that return by Flynn Jr. Kept by Luke Credit, but quickly taken down
Credit on the carry.
by Jake Harper and Stephen Carpenter on the play.
Harper and Carpenter on the stop for the Cardinals. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Wilmington done a poor job on the ground today, only rushed for 54 yards.
It's been a struggle for them. The Cardinals defense has been stand up in that front 7.
3 receivers out to the right. Hand off to Flynn Jr. Flynn Jr. with some space on the right.
Dino hitting on the carry.
Stephen Carpenter and Austin Jones on the takedown there.
Stephen Carpenter on the
Gino Hinton is actually the halfback in for the Quakers on that last play. So Wilmington starting to work in some new faces. Probably smart decision here. This one starting to feel really out of reach. It's 42-7 with 4 minutes left in the third. Wilmington had a good drive last time, scoring their first touchdown of the day.
A great kick return sets them up with great field position, but it's third down.
Credit throwing over to his wide receiver screen. It's P.J. Meyer. P.J. Meyer gets across the first down and a little bit more down to the 27-yard line. So Wilmington keeping this drive alive.
Jake Harper on the tackle. Wilmington with the first down.
There's a Wilmington player down on the field. It looks to be P.J. Meyer.
The following are the winners for the overall homecoming float.
P.J. Meyer
In third,
had a big 80-yard touchdown in Wilmington's first game, and he had that big 61-yard reception. And it seemed to take the life out of the Stains here a little bit. It was about the only play that kind of reminds you that Otterbein's not the perfect team, you know?
Yeah.
And they've played a perfect game up to this point, it would feel like, until that last drive when Wilmington did have that big play from credit to Meyer. Meyer gets up and jogs off under his own power, which is a good sign to see.
Makes a difference in the lives of all students, faculty, and staff through unrestricted operating funds. Thank you for standing with Otterbein.
So if you're Coach Daup, Tyler, are you happy with your team today? On the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they've looked great. On the defensive side of the ball.
The first half, they looked great on defense, and they're looking to keep it up in the second half. Obviously, they gave up the one big play on that passing play, but so far, it looks fairly consistent to me.
Two receivers out to the right for Wilmington. One split out to the left. Motion out from right to left. Handoff to Flynn Jr. Goes for a couple.
The one thing Coach Daup said he wanted to see was a full 60 minutes of good defense, and we're looking to see if we can get that out through this third quarter.
Stephen Masters and Jake Harper on the tackle. Got second and 9.
3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Otterbein leads 42-7 over the Wilmington Quakers. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on the radio, you're listening to 97.5 WOBN out of Westerville, Ohio. Or if you're tuning in as a live stream, you're listening to Tannin Cardinal Media. Quick snap. It's going to be a false start going against Wilmington.
Flag on the play.
Luke Credit was in a hurry to get that ball off as the shot clock was winding down. Not the shot clock, excuse me, play clock was winding down. Basketball season's coming up.
Offense.
It is. False start going against Luke Credit, actually.
In a hurry to get that play out there.
It was. I don't think I've ever seen a false start called on the quarterback, but that one was. He was in a hurry to get the snap off. It looked like he did, but the ref thought otherwise. Nonetheless, puts Wilmington 5 yards back. Ball snapped. Luke Credit keeps it himself. It was an option pass, but he decided to run it. Made up all the yards he lost.
Brings up third.
Third and 10. Wilmington's at Otterbein's 28-yard line.
And Rick Herbst on the tackle for the Cardinals.
Rick Herbst on the tackle for Otterbein. Third and long at the 28-yard line for Wilmington. Two receivers out left, one to the right. Wilmington setting a man in motion. Little
trick play from Wilmington.
Trick reverse. Out deep to Hightower. Touchdown, Wilmington. Deshaun Maddox.
The sophomore receiver with
a quarter.
Wilmington drive, 6 plays, 42 yards.
Still think you're seeing a full 60 minutes of good defense?
28-yard touchdown reception.
They're starting to break a little bit, but I think they've been holding up. A little trick play, you can't do much about that. You played the run well there.
was a solid play call. We've said multiple times that Coach Brian Moore is a first-year coach here at Wilmington. Got Wilmington's first win, broke a 19-game losing streak in Wilmington's first week. And when you're playing a team like Otterbein, a team that you've lost 10 in a row against, you're kind of willing to call some trick plays, call some fake punts, whatever you got to do.
I'm expecting to see another little squib kick here from the Quakers. Try to get the ball back. And that's exactly what it is. Fielded there by number 17, Colton Miles, the linebacker. Catches it and holds on to it. Sophomore out of Hilliard.
Colton Miles pushed out at the 38-yard line where Otterbein will take possession 1st and 10. And it's kind of that awkward feeling around here where you're just kind of looking at the scoreboard and you're just like wondering, is enough time for Wilmington to make a run? Or is it just too much? I mean, Otterbein has a 42-14 lead here, Tyler.
They'd really have to string together a couple stops in a row to really think about a comeback.
That's a nice run there. Nice 8-yard run by Christian Johnson. Gets out to the 46.
Otterbein's offense has just been rolling all day.
Aaron Milligan and Terrence Murphy on the tackle.
2nd and 2 after the 8-yard run by Johnson. Otterbein has the ball at their own 46-yard line. And you're absolutely right. Wilmington is going to need to stop here if they want to really get back in this one. Step dropping back, throws it over to a wide open Hunter Joseph with a stiff arm and some room up the sidelines, pushed out of bounds finally.
Pass complete, number 1, Hunter Joseph for another Cardinal. First
Traquiz
down.
Parks, the freshman safety. This is a young secondary for Wilmington too.
That should put Joseph up over 100 yards receiving today.
Wilmington starting 3 freshmen in the backfield, in the defensive backfield. That's crazy when you think about varsity college football, Tyler.
And the matchups they're facing are not easy.
Bubble route to Julian Lowe. Julian Lowe with some space. He was finally brought out of bounds, but not before he got over 15 yards on the play. Final minute here in the 3rd quarter. Another first down for Otterbein.
Think about the matchups those freshmen are facing, lining up against 2 of the best receivers in the OAC. It's not going to be an easy day.
And it has been. They've given up 191 total pass yards to Logan Stepp. Handoff to Johnson. Johnson out to the left. Has a little bit of space, tries to shake around a tackler.
Christian Johnson on the carry.
But is finally wrapped up out of bounds by Brian Gonzalez.
Tackle for Quakers.
This is a young Wilmington team. This is a very young Wilmington team. It really does feel like a new era with Brian Moore coming in, getting a win in his first game.
And culture change.
3 quarters of football are in the books, and Otterbein leads this one 42-14.
42. Wilmington.
Both teams putting up 14 points in that quarter. But we're 15 minutes away from saying Otterbein football is 3-0. They got some work to do. Wilmington scored on the past couple of drives here. But through 3 quarters, Logan Stepp is still the highlight of the game on offense. He's thrown 20 passes for 16 completions, 227 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. He's ran for 1. Julian Lowe, the slot receiver for the Cardinals, has 5 receptions and 2 touchdowns for his 3rd on the year. But Wilmington's defense just hasn't had an answer to Otterbein's offense. They've been able to score with ease, scoring 14 points in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter. They've looked pretty well today here at Memorial Stadium. Otterbein's 100th homecoming. Ball snapped. Handoff to Johnson. Johnson's brought down at the 10-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and short. They need to get to the 9-yard line to continue the drive. But certainly in field goal range to put up 3 more points.
They'll bring up 3rd and 2. on the 10-yard line.
Third and 2 from the 10-yard line. Motioning Noah Durst from right to left. Settles in at the wing back. Step to Johnson. Johnson gets the first down.
Putting the Cardinals in another first and goal situation. Seems like they've lived in there.
First and goal for the Cardinals at the 6-yard line. So another chance to put another tutty on the board for Otterbein.
First and goal, Cardinals.
And they're not in any rush like they were at the beginning of the game. They try to set that pace and run that no-huddle offense. Looks like they're starting to take their time a little bit more. Now that they have the lead and are in the fourth quarter. 1 minute already gone here in the last quarter of play.
Really trying to burn out that clock.
Little option pass to Christian Johnson. Finds the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
7-yard option pick.
6 more for Otterbein.
For the Cardinal touchdown.
That's Christian Johnson from 6 yards out off the pitch from Logan Stepp. Johnson's first touchdown of the day and second of the season. Otterbein gets 6 more on the board. And a nice touchdown to start this final quarter of play. And that win is starting to get closer and closer. We're 13 minutes and 44 seconds away from claiming the Cardinals as 3-0. Kick is up. Point after is good. Otterbein scores a season high in this one, 49 points. And we talk about the kind of start Otterbein had to last year's season. Through the first 4 games last year, Tyler, Otterbein was 1-3. They were 1-3, and they had lost all 3 games by a combined total of 10 points.
Different feel this year, Hayden. They're on a roll. Their offense is pretty much mostly returned, and they're all very each other and all very talented players.
3 big wins here to start the season if this score holds. 49-14, Otterbein leads this one.
You got to think if the defense puts up a big stop here, there is a chance for Stephen Irwin to step in under center.
And you're exactly right, Tyler. Definitely a chance here for Otterbein. One of the luxuries of being up by this much is putting new faces in there. Sanfilippo's kick is up and away. Flynn Jr. back to receive for the Quakers. Crossed the 20-yard line and tackled at the 25.
Eric Flynn on the return.
Otterbein looking very solid here today.
For the Cardinals.
See if they can get that defense back together and put up a big stop here.
13 minutes and 38 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And that is all that stands between Otterbein and the 3-0 perfect record. And their 11th straight win against Wilmington College. They got some work to do. Here's Luke Credit out on the field in the shotgun. I haven't seen any of these teams go under center today. But here's Wilmington with the ball at the 26-yard line. Flynn Jr. to his left. Credit drops back. Spins around Stephen Masters.
Escapes a couple of sacks there.
Escapes what would have been a sack.
It looks like they still did get him behind the line of scrimmage, Hayden, but just not as far back. Escaping 2 Otterbein defenders there was Credit spinning and dipping and diving.
He really hasn't had a lot of time to throw the ball today, Tyler. I mean, it seems like every time he drops back, there's already 3 or 4 Cardinals in the backfield before he can even think about passing it.
They've been all over that Wilmington offensive line today.
Luke Credit in his senior season with the Quakers. His 3rd year starting as a quarterback. Snaps the ball. Keeps it himself. Has some space out to the right and some room. Across the 45 and to the 50. Brought down by Deshaun Jefferson. At Otterbein's 47-yard line. So a nice run there by the senior quarterback. First and 10 for Wilmington.
Quakers seem to have really found a little bit more open space in the second half.
Hightower motion to cross the formation. Out here at the bottom of your screen. Settles. Hand off to Flynn Jr. Nope, it's kept by Luke Credit. Luke Credit throws it over the top. He has a man.
Almost
Brandon
picked off.
Pascal jumped up. Looked like he had an eye on it. Was kind of ball hawking it, looking to intercept it.
Oh.
But it just went over his hands. Looks like he maybe misjudged it a little bit.
Credit was hit as he threw there, so the ball wasn't exactly where he wanted it to go. But Brandon Pascal was right there and almost had his second interception of the day, 4th on the season.
Nonetheless, incomplete pass. Wilmington with the ball at the 47-yard line, 2nd and 10. Otterbein leads this one 49-14. 12 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this homecoming edition. Hand off to Flynn Jr. Flynn Jr. stumbles in the backfield and is brought down for a loss of 1. Ryan Tucho, the sophomore from Hilliard-Davidson, gets in there in the backfield to force Flynn Jr. to lose about a half a yard. 3rd and long for Wilmington. They are on Otterbein's side of the 50. But well out of field goal range if you're the Quakers. Clock continuing to run down. Two receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right for Credit. Motioning his receiver from right to left. Credit steps back, throws it to screenplay. Over there to P.J. Meyer. P.J. Meyer stood up, and Otterbein trying to strip the ball from him. But he's finally marked down at the 43-yard line. It's going to be a 4th down. And what do you do here if you're Brian Moore and the Wilmington Quakers, Tyler?
I think you really got nothing to lose. I think you go for it, see what you can get out of it.
They're going to do exactly that, keeping all their offensive specialists out there on the field. We're already through the first 4 minutes in the 4th quarter here in Westerville, Ohio. Otterbein leads 49-14. 4th down for Wilmington. They're on Otterbein's side of the 50. Luke Credit in the backfield. Steps back to pass. Throws it over the top. He's got a man. Caught. End zone. Touchdown, Wilmington. That's Matt Credit, his brother, on the play.
Wow. Little brotherly love there on that connection. And we're seeing a little more opening over the top for this passing offense.
43-yard touchdown pass for Wilmington.
You kind of got to wonder where this passing offense was for the Quakers in the first half and how much that would have changed the game if they had it.
It is weird. It is weird to see Otterbein's defensive backs get so many interceptions, yet at the same time give up what seems like easy touchdowns through the air. That was a beautifully placed ball by Luke Credit. Not trying to take any credit from him. But it just makes you wonder, what Coach Daup talks about, playing a perfect 60 minutes all the way through. I mean, you're never going to play a perfect 60 minutes. But in a game against Wilmington, it would be nice to have a 0 on the scoreboard for more on the other end.
Yeah. Otterbein's still up, more than doubling up Wilmington's points, but
you're certain? I don't think you're worried about the comeback at this point. It's just, it's one of those things. He talked about last week. Halfway through the 4th quarter, it was 41-6, and then you blink once, and it's just like that. It's 41-27, and the other team is going for an onside kick, and you wonder what's happening. 10 minutes and 43 seconds left in this one. Wilmington's put 21 points on the board. Otterbein's defensive coordinator, Coach Moore, hasn't even put in the second team guys yet. Here's a high pooch kick.
Another squib kick here from the Quakers. And
it's going to be fair caught.
Colton Miles again, and it looks like there's a flag for a hit on him.
Flag on the play.
(49-21) is the score. Otterbein on top. 10 minutes and 39 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this homecoming game.
Number 35 of the kicking team, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Logan Stepper will remain under center for the Cardinals.
That personal foul is going to go against Wilmington on the sidelines after a late hit off the pooch kick.
Putting the Cardinals perfectly at the 50-yard line.
Otterbein working in a new halfback, Booby Smith.
Another big power halfback for the Cardinals here.
Step, hands it off to Smith. Smith with some space and some room around some
tackles.
defenders. Touchdown, Dakota Smith. 49-yard touchdown run. And off his first carry of the game, finds himself in the end zone. Touchdown, Otterbein. They lead 55-21.
Great run there by Smith.
Point after.
Shaking off defenders, breaking tackles, making it look easy. It's his first touchdown on the season, I believe.
It is. It is his first rushing touchdown on the season.
David Hoyle on the kick, the extra point for the Cards.
So Otterbein's offense really not slowing up. They're still putting points on the board here, Tyler.
They're really putting any thoughts of the comeback away. It's more on the defense to catch themselves back up and keep Coach Daup happy.
And that's got to be frustrating if you're Coach Brian Moore on the other sideline for the Quakers. You keep getting back in this game, kind of, and then you get right back out of it the next possession. Kick is up, and it is good.
Like I said, Hayden, if Wilmington really had any thoughts of a comeback, they'd have to find a way to stop this Cardinal offense, which has just been putting the ball in hands of multiple playmakers and really spreading it around.
Short drive, one play, 49 yards, 9 seconds, 49-yard touchdown run from Dakota Smith.
Let me get you some scores around the OAC. In the fourth quarter, Heidelberg has a lead over Ohio Northern 33-21. A game at Ohio Northern where Otterbein will play next week at 1:30. You can catch all the action on 97.5 WOBN. Mount Union handles Marietta 69-3. That game went final. John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace at the start of the fourth quarter are tied. That game taking place up at Baldwin Wallace.
Don't forget after this game today, Hayden, at 7 o'clock, the men's soccer team's out on the field taking on
Grove City.
In Grove City tonight. Looking to get back above 500.
The kick is Sanfilippo. This ball is deep. This is going to be received by Hightower. Oh, no, there's a new returner back there. And a hard hit.
Aaron Johnson.
The Wilmington returner didn't get out to the 20. I'll get you a name for him real quick.
And number 86, Marty Morris.
Aaron Johnston, the freshman running back, on the return for the Quakers. And this Wilmington squad is just full of freshmen, Tyler. All the way up and down.
It does look like they have a new man under center right now.
New quarterback in for the Quakers is Kyle Barrett, another freshman.
So it looks like Wilmington has put any thoughts of a comeback behind them. And trying to see what some new faces can do in there.
Handoff is also to a new running back, Gino Hinton, the junior. He gets out to the 26-yard line. Blaine Voorhees making an appearance for the Cardinals at safety. Zach Smith, Connor Fry, Melvin Medina. Whole new defensive backfield here for the Cardinals. And, I mean, why not? You know, it's 56-21. Under 10 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Wilmington in no hurry to move the football. Hand off to Hinton. It's going to be stood up quickly. It's not going to gain anything. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Wilmington at the 26-yard line on their own side of the field, moving right to left.
Yeah, it really seems that if this Cardinal defense could keep the Quaker offense from getting any big plays over the top, they haven't been able to do much else. They haven't been able to put together a consistent drive today.
Wilmington hosting Capital next week, 7:30 down at their place. Here's 3rd and short. Barrett's going to keep it. And he's actually going to lose a couple on the play. Wilmington sending their punt team out on the field. Otterbein sending their punt return team out on the field. So good job by Otterbein's defense to force a 3-and-out after the long touchdown pass by Luke Credit the possession before.
Receiving is Hunter Joseph and Julian Lowe.
Low, Joseph, back to you to receive.
Snap is good. Kick is away.
Very short punt here. Joseph's going to take this one.
Joseph's going to take this one. Tries to find some space. Good tackle there by Wilmington. Flags coming in late.
Very late flag.
Number 20, Devin Jones. Flag on the play.
Talk about the men's soccer program playing their game here against Grove City tonight at 7 o'clock under the lights here at Memorial Stadium. But it's the women's team that broke the top 25 after their most recent win on Wednesday night. They are 4-0-1 to start the year.
Another undefeated Otterbein sports program. Don't forget about women's volleyball, 10-0.
Women's volleyball looking very good. Again, you can catch all the inside scoop on Otterbein Sports right here on 97.5 WOBN. Mondays from 5:30 to 7:30. Tune in to From the Stands, hosted by me and my co-host Tommy Bartfi. We'll talk all about Otterbein sports and professional sports, college sports all around the country. 2-hour segment from 5:30 to 7:30 right here on 97.5.
Otterbein has turned to Stephen Irwin under center, the junior quarterback.
Steve Irwin getting some looks. He hands it off to Booby Smith. Gets out to the 40.
You talk about Otterbein men's soccer. They fell in a tough loss under Lake Gold to Hiram 2-1. They're in their first season under head coach Jason Griffiths. They're looking to get back above 500 tonight.
Jason Griffiths, known in Columbus for the work that he did with Classics Eagles, a well-known and well-established travel program, and a lot of that is due to the work of Jason Griffiths. Now takes over coaching duties here as a men's soccer coach. Irwin to snap down to Dean Supelek. That pass is complete. Down to the 45-yard line. Otterbein needs to get to the 42 to continue this drive. It's going to be 3rd and short. Clay Ramirez, Dean Supelek, Dakota Smith. All new faces in for Otterbein on offense.
It's like a whole offensive line for them as well.
So Otterbein working some new kids in. Irwin back to snap. Hands off to Smith. Smith around the first tackler. Tries to get to the first line. Looks like the ball hit the turf.
It does look like he gets
Wilmington thinks they got it. And it is going to be Wilmington football. So Dakota Smith puts the ball on the turf. Wilmington recovers. Otterbein's second turnover of the day. Gives Wilmington possession at the 47-yard line. Brian Prince covers the football for Wilmington and gives them possession at the 47.
Wilmington will take over 1st and 10.
7 minutes and 12 seconds here. It is 56-21. Otterbein on top. Otterbein on the brink of becoming 3-0. 2-0 in the OAC. Barrett hands it off to Hinton. Hinton with some space left. Excuse me, that's Flynn Jr. still out there. Is drugged down off a nice tackle by Grant Nolder, the sophomore for the Cardinals.
Zach Smith on the tackle.
Second and 6 for Wilmington. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in this homecoming game. And more festivities taking place afterwards. Of course, alumni like to hang out here all day and all weekend, really. A lot of people making their way from out of town. Of course, a lot of Otterbein alum live right here in Columbus, too. A lot of them come to school here and end up settling here.
Eric Flynn on the carry.
Columbus, of course, a growing city.
Tackled by Ryan Tucho. Rick Herbst for the Cardinals. 3rd down.
Rick Herbst in on the tackle for the Cardinals. Wilmington gains nothing on the play. They're faced with a 3rd and 4. They're down in Otterbein territory at the 41-yard line. 6 minutes left in this game. Barrett to snap. Hands off to Flint Jr. Flint Jr. after the right. Deshaun Jefferson trying to chase him down. Pushes him out of bounds, but not before he got the first. So Wilmington again moving the chains.
Quaker 1st down. Tackled by number 24, Deshaun Jefferson.
First and 10 for Wilmington at the 37-yard line. Down in Otterbein territory. Under 6 minutes left in this contest. Otterbein leads 56-21. Ball snapped. Barrett keeps it himself. Stiffs arms Grant Nolder, but Grant Nolder does a good job. 5-yard loss on the play.
Grant Nolder on the course out for the Cardinals.
Second and 15. They started at the 37. This is going to be marked a 4-yard loss down to the 41. Wilmington working some new faces in at receiver as well. Barrett stepping back. Throws it off a dump route. This is to Hightower. Hightower moves down to the 30-yard line. It's not going to be a first down, but it will set up a 4th and 3.
Looks like they're going to keep going for it, Hayden.
No, it's going to be 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3?
Yeah. Wilmington moving the football here. Under 5 minutes. Time starting to wane away here. Barrett back to pass. Takes it himself. Scampers through. He's got a lot of yards down to the 10-yard line. Finally brought out of bounds.
Grant Nolder was very close there. He blew right around that tackle.
Austin Torr came off the sidelines. Looks like he is holding on to his hand there.
Alec Weddle's going to check in for the Cards.
Austin Torr being attended to on the sideline. He's a varsity guy. He got a lot of time here in the early parts of this game. Wilmington with the ball at the 11-yard line. Hand off to Flynn Jr. He's going to be stood up very quickly. He might have gained 1 on the play. Austin Torr, man, that's not a guy you want to lose. We talked about this defensive line being so sharp. Torr was a part of 4 tackles on the day, getting limited time. Had a tackle for loss, solo tackle for loss. That's not a guy that you want to get hurt, and so just hoping that he's all right. A lot of times, though, with those hand injuries, you can wrap him up in a club. Here's Barrett to keep the ball himself. Tries to find some space through the end zone. Touchdown, Wilmington. Freshman Kyle Barrett takes it into the end zone for the score. Wilmington's 4th touchdown of the game and 4th of the half, 2nd of the 4th quarter. This one well out of reach. Otterbein still on top, 56-27 with a point after coming Wilmington's way. Kevin Champ out there to kick for Wilmington. Kick is up, and it's good.
Otterbein 56, Wilmington 28.
Otterbein winning this game 56-28 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds away from making this one official. And Otterbein moving to 3-0 on the year, 2-0 in the OAC. We'll be on the same station. We thank those tuning in to Tannin Cardinal Media. In the live stream, I'm Hayden Houshorn here with Tyler Fredette, and we're proud, as long with the rest of the Tannin Cardinal team, to bring to you this homecoming game, this 100th edition of homecoming here at Otterbein, celebrating 100 years. Kevin Champ to kick off for Wilmington. That is another pooch kick. It's going to be taken by Josh Planinger. He's going to get out to the 40-yard line and then finally pushed out of bounds. Otterbein will take possession at the 40, 1st and 10, and I expect to see that second team back out on the field. 3 minutes and 11 seconds away from making this one official. Steve Irwin back to snap. 1st and 10 from the 40. Handoff to Booby Smith. Booby Smith gets brought down for a loss of 1. Nice tackle there.
Tackle made by number 90, Ryan Prince.
Ryan Prince, the senior for Wilmington, on the tackle. But time slowly ticking away at the 39-yard line, 2nd and 11. Otterbein sticking with their second team out there on the field. Wilmington, of course, putting some new guys in there, most of them freshmen. Handoff to Dakota Smith. Dakota Smith makes up the yard he lost the previous play.
Dakota Smith on the carry.
Maybe gained 1 on the play. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 9.
Tackle made by
But Otterbein's going to continue to let this clock.
Brings up 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals.
Otterbein in no hurry. Down under 2 minutes left in this game. Otterbein leads 56-28. We'll get you some final stats once this one goes official. Bubble screen out to Dakota Smith. Dakota Smith across the 1st down marker. And Otterbein will hold on to possession for the rest of the game. A lot of the remaining fans here really happy with what the Cardinals posted today. 56 points. Similar fashion to last week's game. Again, not consistent defense all the way through, but good enough to get the win. Consistent offense all the way through. Otterbein scored with ease, scoring 14 points in every single quarter. Irwin hands off to Smith. Smith around the first guy. Stays in bounds to keep that clock moving. And we will take this one to under a minute remaining. 1 more snap is necessary before Otterbein makes this one official. And all these fans here are starting to make their way. Parents starting to make their way down to meet their kids. And we will hear that sweet, sweet victory bell for the 2nd straight week. Otterbein with the last play of the game here. It is 2nd and 7. Irwin hands off to Smith. Smith puts the ball on the turf, but Irwin picks it up. And that will do it. That will be the final play of the game. Otterbein will let this clock drain out. In the 4th quarter, Otterbein leads this one 56-28. Make sure you catch all the action next week on 97.5 WOBA in Ohio Northern. Otterbein goes up to Ada, Ohio to take on the Polar Bears at 1:30. This one's official. Otterbein wins 56-28.
And that's the end of the game.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Tannic Cardinal Media and 97.5 WOBN. I'm Hayden Houshorn here with my partner Tyler Fredette.
7 p.m. here at Memorial Stadium.
Logan Stepp, again with a huge performance, throwing 3 touchdowns and running for 1. He was 16 of 20 for 227 yards. Austin Jones was the big player on defense with 9 solo tackles for the day. But more importantly, Otterbein extends their 2017 record to 3-0, 2-0 in the OAC. They take on Ohio Northern next week for a rematch of last year's game where Otterbein fell 16-10 to the Polar Bears. Any final thoughts, Tyler?
I think it was a great game all around for the Cardinals offense. Another explosive offensive performance from Logan Stepp, Hunter Joseph, Julian Lowe with some big receptions, and we saw their running game take off today.
That's it. I'm Hayden Houshorn and Tyler Fredette, and we thank you so much for tuning into this matchup. This is a 100th edition of Otterbein Homecoming, celebrating 100 years. And catch all the action next week. Otterbein goes to Ohio Northern to play the Polar Bears. I'm Hayden Houshorn here with Tyler Fredette, signing off. Nice job. So you're going to sign up for more or what?
Think about it, depending on when I got time.
Saturdays for boys.
Yeah. I like my football Saturdays. We gotta go down there now.
Yeah. I imagine you'll probably interview one. We'll probably like split the interviews. I'll interview one person, you'll interview the other.
Do them together.
Just do them together? For sure. Yeah. Where are you tied to? Oh, you got eligible.
Yeah, no, I'm talking to Kenise. Yeah, Kenise, you can stop. Sorry guys, the stream's just being super slow, so I would shut it down, but I can't. Yeah, Kenise, you can unplug your camera, pack up your tripod, and bring it in. I'm not stopping the stream, I'm just stopping Kenise's camera, so I'm gonna stay on camera. So, wait, wait, Jay-Z, is Peter down on the field? Okay, can you just put him on the telex so I know what's going on? Hey, Peter, are you doing a broadcast from the field? Okay, are you using the field cam? Okay, I can leave it up. Do you have the audio connected? Okay, did you have Steve check it before or during setup? Okay, the field cam? Alright, that's fine. I can leave it up. Just let me know when you guys are ready to go live. Yeah, everything's still live. We're just on a shot of the team right now. I just had Kenise pack up. Because we only need one camera, and then I'll stay wide until you guys are ready to do your coach and staff interview. Okay, thanks. No, he's on his way down.
What are you guys doing?
They're doing an interview with the coach and Logan stuff on the field.
Well, they can wrap it up because I got to strike this shit.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying to do, but I don't know where they are.
Alright.
In the middle. Thanks. Is it off? Okay. You're going live? Okay. Let me know. Just like give me a countdown and I can go. I can take it whenever. Okay. You're going.
I killed Street. No reason to be Street. Just kill it.
They're doing the right now.
Okay.
Is the audio up? Could you have to get the audio, Steve? I can't hear his audio.
Executing a lot of our plays, and we're going 100% every play too, so that's good. I know we've been doing some bad things too, but it's nice knowing that I can put the ball out there and let those guys go make a play, and then we can also run the ball too. So I like that. So,
How much does Coach rely on you to run the ball, or you just that guy that can do whatever?
I'm a dual threat guy, so it's really up to him, but. I like to say he relies on me a little bit, but we have 3 really good running backs back there too that can run the ball anytime they want, and our line has been getting some good push this year, so it's been well.
Next week you go to Ohio Northern. What do you need out of your team next week, and what are you going to do looking into this next week of practice?
Yeah, Ohio Northern's a good football team, and I expect them to come out hard, but I just expect us to have a relentless effort and just play hard and just stick to what we do best and go out and score some points and have some fun next week.
Logan, thanks a lot. Enjoy the win, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
That's Logan Stepp, quarterback from the Cardinals. Here's Prince Franklin on the defensive side. Prince,
yes, sir.
You get that big pick 6 today, your first interception on the year.
Yes, sir.
It was a nice big play. What do you like out of your secondary and the rest of your group this year?
I love our secondary. I mean, we got a strong core. And not only do I believe in the first team, I believe in the second team. So I think we can get the job done this year. We're doing pretty good.
You seem to taking on that leadership role of being that energetic guy. Is that something that Coach Dowd puts on you, or Coach Moore puts on you, or is that just something that's part of who you are?
Oh, that's all me. I come out here every day and bust my ass. So just
all right.
Keep it moving.
Thanks a lot, Prince. You enjoy the win, buddy. That's Prince Franklin, defensive back for the Cardinals. I'm Hayden Houshorn. Thank you so much for tuning into this game, and we'll catch you next week and catch all the game against Ohio Northern on 97.5 WOBN. Coach Daup, interview?
I was walking right in behind you.
Coach Daup, huge win today. You know the Wilmington's bringing in a new coach, Brian Moore. Did you expect them to come out with a kind of that attitude to come get this win? I mean, they've lost 10 in a row to you guys. What did you have to do going into this week to make sure that your team handled this game?
Well, we had to. I mean, we prepared just the same as we always do, but I knew they'd be a lot better coached. They'd be more disciplined. Brian is going to do a wonderful job down there. So I knew they were going to be better than they were last year. So we just stayed with our fundamentals and everything else because I knew we weren't going to do anything crazy, but I knew they were going to be much better, and they're going to be a good football team.
Coach, you want a defense that everybody wants a defense that bends but doesn't break, but you want a defense that doesn't even bend.
Correct.
And it looks like your defense kind of struggled near the end of the game, or did you like what you had from your defense today?
No, I mean, it's the same thing as last week. We can't finish defensively. It seems like we make some substitutions and then, they get big plays and things like that. That's stuff we've got to clean up. We've got to clean that up because, the game is pretty much in hand and we're starting to let them back in, and that can't happen.
Next week you go to Ohio Northern. You guys lost 16-10 to them last year. What do you got to do going into next week?
Well, we better pay attention to film. They're going to be a very physical football team. They're a very good football team. We haven't beaten them in a while. So we've got to fundamentally be sound in everything we do and get ready for a heck of a football game.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Right, thanks. See ya.
That's Coach Tim Daup, who just won his 6th straight game against Wilmington. Otterbein extends their win streak against the Quakers to 11 straight. Otterbein extends their 2017 record to 3-0, and they're 2-0 in the OAC. I'm Hayden Houshorn, signing off from Tannin Cardinal Media. Thanks a lot. Good? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice job.
For sure.